would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
We came up with the idea of auctions in August. Gulf Coast Bank does all the work. We display the item, we prominently feature it in social media, on our website, but we do it because it's the right thing to do for the community.
I'm Christine Lisi. Amid their starting quarterback competition, the injury bug has bitten the Browns again. Shedeur Sanders injured his oblique while throwing this morning. He's slated for an MRI to determine the severity of the injury. The contract standoff between the Bills and their lead running back is over. James Cook signed a 4-year, $48 million extension that includes $30 million in guaranteed money. Cook, the latest member of Buffalo's core, signed to multi-year extensions this offseason. Freddie and Harry co-host Harry Douglas.
This is another step in the right direction when you can sew up your running back. And what James Cook provided for Josh Allen, hey, Josh Allen didn't have to feel like he had to be Superman. So Joe Brady gave him a little crutch to assist him a little bit so he didn't have to feel that way and have all that weight on his shoulders. So I love this move.
Tom Dunson, owner of the NHL's Carolina Hurricanes, agreed to buy the Portland Trail Blazers of the NBA for a valuation of more than $4 billion. He intends to keep the team in Portland. The team with the best record in baseball, the Brewers, going for an 11th consecutive win this afternoon. They've got a 6-3 lead on the Pirates in the top of the 6th.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Thursday. I'll tell you what I need to see from Lamar and the Ravens if they finally want to reach the Super Bowl. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride! Woo!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Calandro. Villarreal. And Mr. Toby Tomplake. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day.
It's hump day.
It is hump day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Hey, Alondra.
Hump day.
Yeah.
How excited are you for the Humpty Bump?
I am so excited.
It's hump day.
As a true 90s girl at heart, I figured you would.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I love the peppers.
Hump day.
I think this is the only lasting remnant of one James, a.k.a. Jimmy Chest Hair Harrelson.
It's hump day.
Don't even know who that is.
Mike.
Yeah.
What day is it, Mike?
James Harrelson.
Oh, okay, wait. I'm there now.
Hump day.
Was a producer here.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
For some time, and then he moved to Ohio.
It's hump day.
And one day, randomly, Jimmy Chest Hair just started playing the Humpty Bump on a Wednesday.
Hump day.
Very organic.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
I did not ask him to do it.
It's hump day.
Just did it.
Hump day.
And it worked.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
See, sometimes you take chances.
It's hump day.
Sometimes you do bits and they work.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
And then sometimes you do things like Ryan's Wise.
Hump day.
And you leave them in their bloodied, rotting carcasses far down the road of radio past.
It's hump day.
Saints practice today.
Hump day.
LSU practice today.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We didn't get to go to LSU practice.
It's hump day.
We got Bourbon Dictionary today.
Hump day.
We got Cole Cubelic today.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We got J-Boy Jake Crain today.
It's hump day.
We got Nick Kelly previewing the Alabama Crimson Tide today.
Hump day.
You think he's going to pick him to go to the playoff?
Probably.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
You think I'm going to pick him to go 9-3 and miss the playoff?
Yes.
Oh,
It's
you
hump
damn
day.
right. I mean, Kalen DeBose.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Welcome to your new reality.
Hump day.
Why people keep giving Alabama the benefit of the doubt?
It's hump day.
Just because they got a numeral on the side of their helmet instead of a logo?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
What, you think Bear Bryant's coming back from the dead?
Hump day.
You think Nick Saban's leaving his chair next to McAfee?
It's hump day.
You think old Elmer Fudd over there on the sideline wearing his too big dry fit t-shirt with his pot belly sticking out and a loss to Vanderbilt in the construction zone's going to save you from 9-3 with a first-year starting quarterback and Ty Simpson?
Mike.
You
What day is it, Mike?
Show damn mind.
Hump day.
Telling y'all from the day Nick walked away.
It's hump day.
9-3 coming right up your donkey.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Tell me if this sounds familiar, LSU fans.
Hump day.
Man, we got a lot of talent on defense.
It's hump day.
We got a good offensive line.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We got some receivers, too, that'll probably play in the NFL.
It's hump day.
You got a quarterback? No, we got a quarterback.
Hump day.
What does that sound like?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
That sounds like the Les Miles era.
Hump day.
Enjoy 9-3. All right, we'll get
It's
going.
hump day.
We'll get going. Okay, thank you. Is this the first time we've ever run all the way through the Humpty Bump? Maybe so. You get me started on Alabama, though. Woo, doggy. That'll be a good time. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
All right. Cole's here in 90 minutes. We'll talk to Jake Crain of Crain and Company in hour number 3. We do have a lot to get to. Tigers practice today, no media availability. Tigers practice tomorrow, no media availability. Next time we're allowed in is Friday. We get to watch the whole practice. Saturday, they're going to scrimmage. We do not get to watch. And it makes a lot of sense. They're probably, I'm certain, they're getting to the nitty-gritty here at the end of camp where they're going to really start honing in on what that plan's going to be as they start to turn the page toward Clemson. So I would imagine they're going to be showing us less and less here as we move forward, which is understandable. Something we have not spent a lot of time talking about here throughout the beginning of Saints training camp are updates on Foster Moreau and Taysom Hill. And it's understandable. It's a little out of sight, out of mind. Of course, Taysom was injured at the beginning of December, devastating knee injury. Foster was injured quite literally in the last game of the season at the beginning of January against Tampa in Week 18. Both of them serious knee injuries that required surgery. And up until this point, we just haven't heard a lot about them other than the guys being out there, maybe doing some work on the side. Well, when Kellen Moore met with reporters on Tuesday night, remember the Saints are in LA, so it was a 2-hour time difference. They're practicing. They start practice at 6 Central, 4 Pacific. So when Kellen Moore's meeting with reporters, it's like 9 o'clock here. Kellen Moore was asked for an update on Taysom Hill and Foster Moreau, and it's succinct but not good.
They're doing an excellent job. They're still in the rehab process. They're not getting ready to get on the field anytime soon. So they're doing an excellent job. They're in meetings every day. They're a part of this. They can't do anything more than what they're doing right now.
They can't do anything more than they're doing right now. They're not close to getting on the field. Remember, if they start the season on PUP, they're not even it's physically unable to perform. Sometimes you hear people say the PUP list. That's what that is. You're not even eligible to return until after the 4th game. So if you're looking at New Orleans with Taysom and with Foster Moreau, the best case scenario, is that they would be activated off of the PUP list after the fourth game. They open up Cardinals, Niners, at the Seahawks, at the Bills, and then October the 5th, they're home against the Giants. Like, best case, that's where you'd be targeting. But generally, if you activate someone off of PUP, then you got the 21-day ramp-up window. So in theory, it could be 7 weeks if you activate them. So, I mean, it may not be until November, end of October, beginning of November, if you see those guys at all this year. And, if you just follow the typical timeline for an ACL, and listen, Taysom's was apparently multiple ligaments and multiple injuries and very significant. I mean, you're talking about, an 8 to 12 month timeline. And that was December. So, I mean, realistically, if you're just split the difference and you go 10 months, you're looking at October for Taysom Hill, best case. Foster's, again, was in January. So, do they make it back? What would you even be playing for at that point? I don't know. But it's why I'll continue to underscore, I think, the importance of the tight end position in these preseason games and in training camp. Because you are dangerously thin right there. Not in numbers. The weird thing is you have this glut of bodies. You just don't have a good option. Now, you've got Juwan Johnson, but we all know Juwan Johnson is a pass-catching tight end. He's not the run-blocking tight end, and he's not the hybrid. If you look at what a year ago Kellen Moore had in Philly with Dallas Goedert, he's the hybrid. Dallas Goedert last year caught 42 balls for just under 500 yards and a couple of scores on the Super Bowl team, which, by the way, had A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Like, they didn't need Dallas Goedert to go be a 100-tackle guy. By the way, Dallas Goedert ripped the Saints' heart out in the Superdome last year with the long catch and run he had late in the game. But he had that potential. But he's also a guy that doesn't make you predictable by personnel. Like, he is the modern tight end, the guy that's athletic enough to be a pass catcher, a really dynamic pass catcher, but physical enough to be a blocker. That's why Mason Taylor is such an intriguing prospect at the NFL level. Anyway, outside, so you don't have that guy. You've got Juwan Johnson, who's really a one-trick pony. Everyone else you have, Michael Jacobson, Moliki Mataval, who's the 7th-round pick out of UCLA, Jack Stoll, Trayton Welch, and then you just re-signed Seth Green again, who, remember, Seth Green was with the Saints. He was let go. He had been in the UFL. So that's sort of an on-again, off-again thing there as they have roster spots and a lot of movement. If you just look at the game against the Chargers on Sunday, Jack Stoll, his PFF grade was a 40.9. That was the third lowest on the team. That ain't great. Neither was Trayton Welch, who was at a 46.8. By the way, the guy who's going to be your starter, Juwan Johnson, was at a 50, one of the worst on the team. Moliki Mataval was at a 54, and Michael Jacobson was a 55.7. That was the high watermark, was Jacobson at a 55.7. Bottom line is, you really don't have a good option right now at tight end outside of Juwan Johnson. And even if you look beyond Goddard, remember, not only did they have Goddard last year, but they also had Calcaterra in Philly, who caught 24 passes for just under 300 yards. But that's just another option when they went 2 tight end sets. So you need that. I mean, even think back to when Kellen Moore was in Dallas and he had Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz in 22, which was Kellen Moore's last year in Dallas, caught 57 balls for just under 600 yards and 5 touchdowns. It's an important part of Kellen Moore's offense. And you just don't have it right now. And Foster Moreau really is the guy that's kind of the prototype. I mean, Taysom is still just his slash role. The prototype is Foster Moreau, so that's really the guy in this offense you're looking to replace, who could line up there alongside Juwan Johnson, those 2 tight end sets. So something to follow as they continue to move through camp. But the update from Kellen Moore on Taysom and Foster, not good. I mean, plan to not have them certainly through September, maybe for the entire season. At least I think you have to approach it that way, like there's at least a possibility that you wouldn't have either guy this year. Plan accordingly. All right, it's After Further Review. Show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of your New Orleans Saints, the official beer of the LSU Tigers. Saints are in the Dome this weekend against Jacksonville on Sunday. You're going to be in the Dome. Make sure you get your foam in the Dome and make it a nice cold Bud Light, the official beer of your New Orleans Saints. Our friends over at Mockler Beverage, great partners of the Saints, of LSU Athletics, and of us here on AFR. Oh, on Monday, we will have the new LSU Bud Light bottle, the 16-ounce aluminum bottle. Get ready. Tailgate season's almost here. We'll get to unveil the new bottle on the show on Monday. Okay, let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Speaking of the Tigers, as we take a breath from fall camp with a couple of days where we don't have access, I was scrolling through my text line yesterday, the show text line, where a lot of you asked questions and comments. And there was one in particular about the offensive line that I want to address, and we'll do that when we come back on AFR.
After further review.
We are brought to you by the Watermark and the Renaissance Watermark Downtown, Renaissance Southtown, two amazing hotel properties in Baton Rouge. Watermark Downtown, the Renaissance right there on Bluebonnet near I-10, which means it's easy access to everything. Let's face it, if you live in Baton Rouge, you've been through Baton Rouge, you know this. Most directions about how to get around Baton Rouge start with get on I-10 and get off on Seagan, Bluebonnet, Eston College. You know the drill. Well, the Renaissance is right there on Bluebonnet near I-10. Gorgeous, sprawling hotel with all the amenities. Gym, fitness, of course, the fitness center, the business center. I always talk about Tallulah inside the Renaissance Hotel. Great spot for a business lunch. Spot to have a cocktail on a Thursday, Friday night after work. You want to pop in. A place that if you're going to the movies, you're going to shop at Perkins Row or going to the mall, you can always pop into Tallulah right across the street right there. It's inside the Renaissance Hotel. Two great locations. It's the Watermark and Renaissance Baton Rouge.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
saw them at Jazz Fest.
When was that?
2009? 9er?
In their prime.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I wasn't super keen on seeing them because who was on the other stage? Tom Petty was playing opposite. No. It was Bon Jovi.
Oh.
And I was like, I want to go watch Bon Jovi, not Kings of Leon. So I went back and forth.
Yeah.
But good band there, the Kings of Leon.
Good,
Not bad. Anyway. All right, it's after further review. Thanks for hanging out. Taylor Calandro's here in about 15 minutes for Bourbon Dictionary. Or about 20 minutes from 25. What am I doing? 25 minutes from right now for Bourbon Dictionary. I always encourage you to text me on my show text line, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. A guy named Tommy sent me a text and said, Matt, it's going to be about time for you to admit the offensive line is going to be a problem for this team. Weston Davis running laps because they can't stay on sides. Sad. Several other offensive breakdowns due to offensive line play. Skilled offensive players being able to pull out the big play is no way to run an offense. Hope the next 2 days without media availability prove to be the hardest of camp. Hope to see improvement by the weekend from Tommy. I replied to Tommy, said, hey, Tommy, Weston Davis hasn't been jumping off sides much. He did it one time the other day in the goal line drill. They replaced him with Ori Williams. Carius Kern's the one that's been having a problem, and he's a true freshman who's probably not going to play a ton. If you have to rely on Carius Kern, it's probably a problem. And to his point about skilled players breaking out the big plays, not a way to run an offense, partly agree with you, except for the fact that Joe Sloan repeatedly in his press conference and press availability last week talked about explosives and the explosive plays, and it's just very clear that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to work explosive plays into their offense. Now, I am not dismissing the concern about the offensive line. It is justified. You had do a blind survey here, a blind resume. And if I told you, hey, there's a team that's losing 4 starters on their offensive line. All 4 of them just went to the NFL draft. One of them was taken 4th overall. You're probably going to assume that line is not going to be as good the next year with all that you lost. That's a right assumption. I'm right there with you. It's why I kind of am vacillating a bit on this group. But I also look at the offense from last year, and they were 107th in the country in rush offense. This group a year ago was outstanding at pass protection. They allowed the 10th fewest sacks in the country. Say that again. Last year, 2024, LSU allowed the 10th fewest sacks in America. Only 9 schools allowed fewer sacks. And let's be honest, 3 of them are the service academies because they don't throw the ball. So among teams that actually try to run an offense and throw the ball, LSU is really good at protecting their passer. They really struggled to run the ball because they didn't have the explosives. They didn't have to respect LSU's ability to beat you deep, and so safeties crowded the box, and that made it challenging. And you didn't have Jaden Daniels, who could erase a lot of those issues because he was just magnificent. And my goodness, he was, I mean, he makes NFL defenses look slow and silly. We saw what he did in college. He was just out. He was sensational. And you don't have that element with Garrett Nussmeier. So I'm not at a point where I'm going to tell you this offensive line is going to be atrocious because I don't think that's the case. I asked Joe Sloan on Friday to assess his offensive line, and I intentionally left it open-ended. It wasn't a leading question. Joe, how concerned are you about ... Joe, would you how important is it to have like all those are leading questions? Just an open-ended question. Give me an assessment of the offensive line and listen to how he laid it out for you.
Obviously, we have a lot of competition at guard, and I think you're seeing flashes of different guys daily who are playing really well. I think our tackles, the two guys coming into spring, where those two guys are going to be first-year starters, and I think definitely when you watch, they have been excellent. Excellent in terms of their growth, right? They got to keep coming, they got to get better every day, but I've been really pleased with what they've done. And I think Braylon's played extremely good at center, and I think we have a couple other guys who could, we have some depth at center, which is nice. And then I think, you see some of the young guys who are starting to come on.
That's good. Just for the point, he said Braylon's been outstanding at center. The tackles have been excellent. And he said excellent in terms of ... because he tried to clarify. But he said the tackles have been excellent. Tyree Adams, Weston Davis. He said Braylon Moore's been outstanding, which he has been. He started by saying we have good competition at the guards. That's your answer. Your center has been awesome. Like, I don't worry about Braylon Moore. He started 24 games in college at Virginia Tech, and you go out there and watch him. I don't think he's had an errant snap yet. Whenever they do the pass rush drills, he is a brick wall. He is so good at establishing his base, getting his hands up. Like, he is excellent in pass protection. The tackles have been really good. You heard him say there. You're set there with Adams and Davis. The question is the guards. And I even told you this yesterday. DJ Chester, who's been your first-team left guard, Cohen Eccles replaced him yesterday in the team periods as first-team left guard. Now, I was not at practice today, but some people who were kind of maybe relayed to me that Chester was back running first team at left guard. And we'll see as we get more updates how that goes and what they ultimately do. But I think that's definitely a concern, is how you play at guard, no doubt. But I think it's also so important to remember how they're trying to piece together this offense this year. And I don't know that you're going to look at this in terms of what we think of a traditional run game, where you have these maulers on the offensive line with a fullback and a power. Like, it's not going to be that. Like, Joe Sloan was asked in that same press conference about the progress they've made in the running game. Give a listen.
We got to run the football, right? You got to run the football in the SEC. And I think we've looked at some scheme things. We've looked at some personnel things, right? It's a combination. I think having Caden Durham as a second-year player, obviously he's an electric player and a really good football player, but he still was a true freshman last year that came in June, right? He's a lot better football player today than he was at this time last year. And I think Garrett's understanding of how he can help. And then there's some schematic things where we're going to be able to put some guys in positions to make sure we can create some more explosives in the run game. And I think that's the key, right, is creating explosives in the run game.
Your offensive coordinator. So to the point that Tommy sent in his text saying, I'll read you the text again from the listener Tommy, who said, skilled offensive players being able to pull out the big play is no way to run an offense. But understand, Tommy, we're just watching tidbits of practice. If that's what they're like, we don't know what maybe they're trying to set up a defense to be able to hit the big play. Maybe that, and Joe Sloan continues to tell you that's what they're trying to work into the explosive. And he just told you personnel and scheme. Well, personnel is pretty obvious. Personnel is obvious. Caden Durham's a year older. Caleb Jackson's in better shape. You've got Juwan Johnson back there now as well. Harlem Berry's a 5-star coming in. And then the other thing he said is scheme. Like, the very first play of the team period that we got to watch on Tuesday, Xavion Thomas took the first carry from the running back spot. So you could take a receiver, motion him into the backfield, and hand the ball off to him as a running back. We've seen Juwan Johnson line up as a running back and also as a Wildcat quarterback. In that same period, we saw Juwan Johnson line up as the quarterback, and they direct snapped to Caleb Jackson. Now, Caleb Jackson fumbled it, and Mansour Delane scooped and scored 80 yards. Not exactly what you want to see. But the point is, they're even showing us personnel and scheme. They've got, you heard what Joe said it, like, we've got to run. Can you play just the very beginning of that again, I believe? It was just like he said, we've got to run the ball better.
We got to run the football, right? You got to run the
football. That's it. We got to run the football. They were 107th in the country a year ago. And so be it personnel or scheme, they're going to do it this year. And it's not all going to be on the offensive line, lining up and just power eye running over people. It's going to look different. I keep telling you this. It's going to be jet sweeps. It's going to be Xavier Thomas motioning into the backfield. It's going to be direct snaps to Caden Durham or Harlem Berry or Juwan Johnson. Like, it's going to be different. Like, Nuss is going to have opportunities to run. I'm not telling you Nuss is running for 500 yards, but he ain't running for negative 38 again. I'll guarantee you that much. So it's very intentional. They understand they have to be better there. And I think a lot of that creativity, hopefully anyway, early, can mask some of the continuity that they have to put together on the offensive line. Again, I'm not sitting here dismissing the questions about the offensive line. It is everyone's biggest question, and rightfully so. You're replacing 4 NFL players that combined for 170 career games played. I am not dismissing those questions or concerns. I'm just telling you what I have seen. Braylon Moore is very good at center. He's played a ton. They are confident in their tackles, who are very athletic young players. Weston Davis was a 5-star. He should be good enough to play. You brought in Josh Thompson, who's a 2-year starter at Northwestern. And DJ Chester started 13 games for you. Now he's in his more natural position. You've got talented enough guys that have to come together and play as one. And while they try to figure that out and learn to play together, I think scheme and personnel are things that could overcome it. At least that's the hope as they begin this season. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. School started. Yesterday was Drew's first day. I encourage you parents, make sure you bring your kiddos for their annual eye exam. Back to school is a great reminder of a time to schedule the annual eye exam. Make sure your kiddos are getting that. Make sure they can see the board. Make sure they can see in school. I started wearing glasses in the 6th grade, got contacts in the 8th grade. And thank God for Dr. Blake Williamson, because for the last 7 years now, I've been able to see without contacts and glasses because I finally did it, had LASIK, and I'm like so many others that said, best money ever spent, wish I had done it a decade sooner. You'll find the exact same. So if you want to ditch the contacts and glasses forever, go see Dr. Blake Williamson, get evaluated, see if there's a refractive procedure that's right for you so you can ditch the contacts and glasses forever. And in the meantime, make sure you schedule that annual eye exam for your kiddos as it's back to school time. 8 locations of the Williamson Eye Center in the greater Baton Rouge area, including Lutcher and the River Parishes, Zachary, St. Francisville, Denham, Baton Rouge, all over the place. It's WilliamsonEye.com, WilliamsonEye.com. Okay, y'all. It is After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. We'll knock out a quick break. Bourbon Dictionary in 15 minutes. We'll go around the SEC next.
AFR.
Action Industries is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Tell you the website all the time. You can check them out there, actionindinc.com, Action Industries Incorporated, actionindinc.com. You know, if you want to have a great outcome with your industrial project, Action Industries can assure that. They've been around since 1982, 43 years in business right here, servicing the petrochemical refinery markets, the plants up and down the river, and it's turnaround season. Really, for another couple months, we're still in turnaround season. So if you got that turnaround coming up and you're looking for a great local company to bid your job, remember Action Industries. Listen, if you have, say it all the time, you have the $200 million mega project, that's not them. They can help supplement your $200 million job with their workforce. But their sweet spot is that 100-person job where you will get their undivided attention. It's Action Industries. Innovation in action.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
We came up with the idea of auctions in August. Gulf Coast Bank does all the work. We display the item, we prominently feature it in social media, on our website, but we do it because it's the right thing to do for the community.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
All right, glad to have you aboard with us here. Taylor Calandro, in about 10 minutes, we'll do Bourbon Dictionary. You get your emails or text in. You can email it or questions in. Email us, tweet us, text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. The New Orleans, something we'll talk about as well coming up a bit later. The New Orleans Saints have made some roster moves. With Will Clapp going to IR and the injury, the turf toe injury to Trevor Penning, the Saints had just a deluge of players come work out. Thank you at practice on Tuesday out in LA, and as a result of that, they did sign a few players. They added what we talked about already. Tight end Seth Green is back. They added defensive tackle Jaden Peavy. Wide receiver Roderick Daniels. Daniels is 5'10", 180, former SMU Mustang. Saints have added a lot of SMU players over the years. Peavy's a big defensive lineman, 6'5", 308. He's been bounced around the NFL a good bit with the Titans, Panthers, Browns, Texans. The most interesting player, though, I think, we'll talk about this a bit more later in detail, but the most interesting player I think that they added is Mike Panasiuk. And he's an interior offensive lineman. And the reason I'll continue to say I think this is a really significant add is, well, let me not overstate the add. It's more the position they're looking to address, because I think Will Clapp was a shoo-in to make this team. And you can downplay a backup or rotational offensive lineman, but like we always talk about in the NFL, if you make the active roster, you're going to play on game day. And like, I can't help but think back to week 3, the Saints are playing the Eagles. It's the first series of the game, and Eric McCoy goes down with the groin injury. Then all of a sudden, Lucas Patrick is shifting over and now playing center. And that's just, in the NFL, there is no, it's a freshman who was thrown into action early. No, like, it's why you play. You're getting paid. The expectation is you go out there and you handle your business. And listen, I understand for Lucas Patrick, who started at left guard in that game, sliding over and now all of a sudden being lined up head up on Jalen Carter, who's a monster, is an unenviable task, but that's what you have to do. And so, especially considering all the injuries we saw on the offensive line from the Saints a year ago, it underscores the importance of having your rotational depth. And it's not just last year. I can think back to guys like, remember Sinio Calmente, who was a good player, who was both a guy that could be on the interior. We saw Sinio Calmente spot duty whenever there were injuries to Teron Armstead. He's kicking in there playing left tackle. Same thing with Andrus Peat. I mean, he was your starting left guard, but at times you had to kick out and play left tackle. It's why you have to have versatility. It's what made Will Clapp a really valuable piece. An 8-year veteran who had been a durable player, could play center guard. That made Will Clapp very valuable. Well, his injury means now you got to find a replacement for that guy. And maybe, Mike Panasiuk could be that guy. He's 27. He was all XFL, and then he was all UFL with the St. Louis Battlehawks here in recent years. Interesting because he started his career at Michigan State. He was a defensive lineman. When he got into the NFL, he switched to the offensive side of the ball. So he never played offensive line until he got to the NFL, which is remarkable. And he's played for the Raiders, the Panthers, the Colts. And so he was there on a tryout basis on Tuesday with New Orleans, and that he was working out with them. They signed him. The Saints haven't officially announced this on the transaction wire yet, but that's a guy who you would presume is going to have an opportunity to make this team, because with Will Clapp on IR, you have to find a versatile interior offensive lineman that can play center and both guard spots in the event that somebody goes down. You have to have that versatility. So just one to watch here as the Saints continue practice. So practice again today, Thursday. They fly or today, Wednesday. Tomorrow, Thursday, they're scheduled to practice with the Rams in a joint practice. They'll fly home Friday, have a walkthrough Saturday, and then Sunday they'll play their first home preseason game against Jacksonville. All right, it's After Further Review brought to you by Parrish Construction and Roofing. I was over at the office earlier today. Crews were hard at work, man. Commercial, residential, we do it all. Even do gutters and soft washing. So, man, you look at your roof and you see all those ugly brown and black streaks. That just could be algae growing on your roof. You might just need a soft wash. It'll clean it, beautify it, and extend the life. So it's not eating away at the contents of your roof. Let us help you out. It's Parrish Construction and Roofing. Maybe you're seeing water spots on the ceiling. You notice you're missing shingles. You look at the downspouts of your gutters, and you start to see some of those granules in the driveway at the downspout. That's a good indication that you probably had roof damage. It's time to get that thing inspected. Let us help you out. Parrish Construction and Roofing. Go to the website at parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Fill out the form on the homepage, parishbuilt.com. We'd love to help you out. Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com. Okay, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference. The Florida Gators.
Florida's going to honor Urban Meyer during a 2025 home game. Scott Strickland announced this week that they'll bring back the two-time national championship winning head coach. The College Football Hall of Fame announced Meyer's election this past January. Herb is 61 years old, won 2 national titles during his 6 seasons as the Florida head coach. Hard to believe it was only 6 seasons.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
The Tennessee Adidas deal reportedly includes a multi-million-dollar NIL component. After more than a decade, Tennessee announced it's returning now to Adidas as part of a new 10-year contract. And with that, there will also be, quote, unprecedented NIL opportunities for the players. That, according to our buddy Ross Dellinger over at Yahoo. The NIL component could be worth $10 million alone. Of course, in an NIL and revenue sharing era, every school is looking for new revenue options. This is one that Tennessee is exploring.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
And South Carolina coach Dawn Staley recently sat down with former First Lady Michelle Obama on her podcast and talked about the attention in women's sports. And she said that they are now, the South Carolina women's basketball players will sign NDAs for revenue sharing. We know that student athletes will be able to share in $20.5 million of the revenue for the athletic department. Every school can determine how it divvies up that $20.5 million, but South Carolina will make their women's basketball student athletes sign NDAs so the public won't know who gets what. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Our Hump Day shows are brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. It's not just ED treatments. Yes, they do that, but it's so much more. Hormone replacement therapy, they have dozens of peptides that they offer, like BPC 157, NAD+. I was over at Goodwood earlier today. I'm starting my second cycle of BPC 157. I was on an 8-week cycle, 8 weeks on, 8 weeks off, and now I'm going to do a 28-day on, because it was just weekdays before with the weekends off. Now I'm 28 days on. I'll be able to tell definitively just how much better I feel. So can't wait to share that with you. Peptides are incredible. Nobody does it better. Lowest prices, never any contracts. Learn more, yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Okay, Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro to wrap up hour number 1 next.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Duplessis Builders, duplessisbuilders.net, duplessisbuilders.net. Pretty excited. I will be able to tell you after this weekend about some very, very, very exciting new NIL partnerships that Duplessis is embarking upon. Of course, here in recent years, you've seen a lot of the different NIL deals we've done. Most recently, Jacob Myers with the LSU baseball team. But high school NIL, current LSU Tigers. Listen, Derek doesn't hide it. He's an LSU alum, loves the Tigers, wants to help where he can, and work hand-in-hand synergistically with his business. So we're really excited to be able to have that NIL program with Duplessis carry on this football season. So stay tuned. Be able to tell you about a lot of really exciting NIL deals with Duplessis. And, of course, if you're thinking about building a pool, I mean, Pool & Spa Magazine just named him one of the top 50 pool builders in America. Why would you call anyone else? DuplessisBuilders.net. Check them out online at DuplessisBuilders.net.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com. They're the gang with the slang.
Keep it 100. I don't know what you're talking about.
This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
I don't understand.
All right, wrapping up hour number one. Get your booze questions in. Email us, tweet us, text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Taylor's with us. How are you, dude?
Good. You know, Moose isn't working when the lead-in music's good.
My guy's out here catching strays, but he deserves it. What's new?
I've just noticed that. It's always solid when... Is that Alondra?
Yes. Well, the reality is we tell Moose to play unlicensed music because the licensed music is always what gets us banned on YouTube. So Alondra uses her own discretion and plays great songs, but they're going to get us banned on YouTube. So when I start getting emails and tweets and messages after the show, about an hour after the show, where's the show? Where's the show? Well, Alondra decided to play, Nirvana, which I love, but that's why it's banned right now. Or Kings of Leon. What's new?
Over the weekend, I tried DDH Ghost Daydream from Parrish. It is a double dry hopped IPA with lactose and milk sugar. And I don't know if that's your style, the lactose and the milk sugar.
I don't even know what that is.
It just it lends itself to a creamier IPA. With the lactose and the milk sugar, and a little sweeter too. I love that style if it's done correctly, and this is done really good. Those they're kind of pricey. They're $22 a 4-pack. It's a really good beer though. That's about it. It's been slow as far as whiskey, so
okay.
That's really new in that end.
So I was talking to Leighton over at Supper Club, and they got a bottle of Last Drop in. Have you heard of it?
Last Drop Buffalo Trace?
Yeah.
So Last Drop used to be a charity-only bottle. Now, I don't know if they must not be doing it charity-only anymore, but that's like a really slim-run deal that they've done once or twice before. I'm just not super familiar with it.
So it's a blend of barrels, the youngest of which is 27-year-old juice. There's some 30-year-old juice in there as well. There were only 508 bottles, and Supper Club got one of them.
So what are they doing with it?
They opened it. They're selling it.
Oh, they're selling it. Well, do you know how much it is?
Well, I don't know exactly what it is for an ounce, but I'm sure pricey. But if you want to try something you've never ever tried before, or never try again, that's a pretty good opportunity.
Yeah. Well, I've like I said, I've seen a bottle of it before, but I swear it was for a charity cause or something. I'll have to ask about that. Super limited run if it's 500 bottles.
508 bottles in the world. No doubt the one at Supper Club is the only one in Louisiana. At least the only one in Louisiana that will be available for anyone to try to go purchase an ounce, because it's just not going to be available anywhere.
Right.
Right. All right, let's get your questions in. You can email us, tweet us, or text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Greg said, ask Taylor, what's an alcohol region or destination, either international or within the States, you want to go but have not been able to visit yet?
A destination? I would say Cognac, France, because I just know that not a lot of people go. It's a smaller town, and from what I've heard, like those distilleries are pretty cool and very, very old.
Is it so Cognac is like specifically from Cognac, like Champagne, right? Like Champagne is only from Champagne or Burgundy, right? Those are all from Burgundy, France. Right?
In America with brandy, which is basically the same.
We lost him. All right, see if we can call him back. All right, we'll see if we can get Taylor back real quick. While we dial him back and get your questions in, and gives me a good opportunity to remind you about Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows door siding, they do shutters as well over at Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. When it's 93 degrees, you know your AC is working overtime, you want to lower your energy bills, energy-efficient replacement windows are a great option. At Relief Windows, they'll actually do this test. They'll hold a light bulb above a regular pane glass window and then their energy efficient window, and you could see the temperature difference right in front of you. I mean, you want to talk about validation. It shows you right there just how much the difference is and how much money you will save on your energy bill. So over time, it's an investment in your home. You're going to end up lowering your energy bills. As an investment, it's going to pay for itself. And then, of course, the resale value of your home increases as well. It's Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. 288-8138, 288-8138, or reliefwindows.com. All right, we got Taylor back. Sorry about that. Your phone went away, and you were talking about, like, different regions in France or something like that.
Oh, yeah, no, I was talking about cognac. I must have lost service. I'm going down Florida Boulevard.
All right. Okay, well, let's do this, because I got like 30 seconds. There's 2 more questions I want to get to. Ask Taylor, Any Truth EH Taylor and Eagle Rare becoming more readily available?
I hope so. The rumor is they've made a lot of all of it. So, and I've seen a slowdown in bourbon. I would have a hard time saying no, but I wouldn't say yes either.
Matthew S. Taylor, are you getting the Penelope Black Walnut Old Fashioned RTD?
Yes, I would imagine it's coming. The peach one we didn't get a whole lot of.
I've got 3
seconds. If we do get it, it won't be a lot.
I've got 3 seconds. Bye.
AFR.
Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, together we roar. Our Lady of the Lake is a championship health partner of LSU Athletics, and it's really been my pleasure to be able to tell you about Our Lady of the Lake and the many different ways that they continue to be interwoven within the fabric of not just LSU Athletics, but, of course, the university as a whole and all of our communities. You know, the Franciscan missionaries of Our Lady, the sisters, have had this incredible mission for more than a century to advance healthcare throughout their entire Franciscan Missionaries of Our Lady healthcare system. It's a multi-state system with hospitals and clinics addressing every type of healthcare, from pediatrics and orthopedics to general health and cancer and heart health and stroke. Learn more at olrmc.com/LSU. It's Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, championship health partners. Together, we roar.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment. Dave's back on. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team color, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Browns are dealing with another injury at quarterback. Shedeur Sanders is day-to-day with an oblique strain. He won't practice tomorrow and is unlikely to play in Saturday's preseason game. Bills running back James Cook signed a 4-year, $48 million extension, includes $30 million guaranteed. He's the sixth core player Buffalo signed to a multi-year extension this offseason. Unsportsmanlike co-host Chris Canty.
This team is loaded. 1 through 53, it's one of the best rosters in the NFL. There is no excuse for them not to get over the hump. They're going to be in the postseason. They are going to host a home playoff game. At some point, something about the Bills' postseason fortune has to change. They can't continue to lose to Patrick Mahomes.
Buffalo's 0-4 in the playoffs against Mahomes and the Chiefs. Tom Dundon, owner of the NHL's Carolina Hurricanes, agreed to buy the NBA's Portland Trail Blazers for a valuation of more than $4 billion. He intends to keep the team in Portland. The Major League leading Brewers appear to be well on their way to a 12th consecutive win. They lead the Pirates 12-5, top 8.
Your summer drink is here. Twisted Tea is a smooth, refreshing, hard iced tea with 5% alcohol, making it the perfect drink to take any day this summer to the next level. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's rock!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Shut up, kid. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muse is not here today. Instead, it's Alondra Villarreal. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Continue our SEC fall previews. Nick Kelly's here in 13 minutes. Talk about the Alabama Crimson Tide. Cole Cubelic, bottom of this hour. Our guy J-Boy, Jake Crain from Crain Company, next hour. Our side piece, as it were. We'll look forward to that. It's an appropriate time for The Athletic to release their QB tiers list. For what it's worth, it's just keeping in mind that this is very subjective. It's a panel of 46, 50 voters, coaches, executives. So credible people that vote, and they break them down into 5 different tiers. Tier 1, for example, can carry their team each week. The team wins because of him. He expertly handles pure passing situations. He has no real holes in his game. There are, according to The Athletic, 5 Tier 1 quarterbacks. Those quarterbacks are tied for number 1, Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow, followed by Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Matthew Stafford. Odd to see Matthew Stafford there, especially at this point in his career as a Tier 1 player. And then they go on from there. Jaden Daniels leads Tier 2, by the way, at number 6. followed by Justin Herbert, Jared Goff, C.J. Stroud, Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield. That's an interesting one. Former number 1 overall pick. Really seems to have hit his stride in Tampa. They've won the division the last 2 seasons. Dak, Jordan Love, Brock Purdy are next. But it's odd to see Jaden Daniels and Brock Purdy in the same tier. Maybe that's disrespectful to Purdy, who's gotten San Francisco to a Super Bowl, but Jimmy G also got San Francisco to a Super Bowl. So how much of it was it? How much of that was Purdy? How much of it was you just got a really good roster? Probably some of both. Tier 3, Kyler Murray, followed by a big drop for Aaron Rodgers, who dropped from Tier 2 to Tier 3. Kyler Murray, Aaron, Tua, Trevor Lawrence, Geno Smith, Bo Nix, Sam Darnold. Big jump for Sam Darnold this year, by the way. Drake May, Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, Kirk Cousins. That's notable because obviously Bryce Young, Kirk Cousins are both in the NFC South. Young ascending a couple of spots. Kirk Cousins, the biggest drop among all the quarterbacks, dropped 12 spots this past year, where, of course, he lost his job. Tier 4, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Michael Penix, J.J. McCarthy, Daniel Jones, Joe Flacco, Anthony Richardson, and ranked 33rd is where we find Spencer Rattler. For what it's worth, Tyler Shuck is not on this list. Kenny Pickett is the only Tier 5 quarterback. Tier 5 quarterbacks are termed as best suited as a backup. So one notch above that is where we find Spencer Rattler. And Kellen Moore, when he met with reporters on Tuesday, kind of gave his game review of Spencer Rattler after having had time to watch the film.
Yeah, I thought Spencer did some really good things. There was no wow moments, unfortunately. And sometimes that's just the circumstance of the game. I thought he did a good job. We had the fumble in the pocket, really challenging circumstance. I think outside of that, he protected the football. I thought he did a great job on third down, finding Cedric in a little bit of a busted coverage situation where the ball's not necessarily going to Cedric. He finds him. I think that's impressive for him to be able to just navigate that and handle that really, really well. Used his legs really well in some passing situations to find first downs. And so, I thought there was a lot of good in there.
So Kellen Moore said there were no wow plays from Rattler, which is true. There was the disappointing play, which is the strip sack fumble. Got a hold on the ball. But no wow plays. The flip side of it was you did have the wow play from Tyler Shuck. You also had the pick six, which is massively disappointing. So now as you move into the second week of preseason, Kellen Moore was asked where this competition goes from here, where it's very clear Jake Haener is out of the running. They're deciding between Rattler and Shuck and where they go from here.
It keeps competing. That's the plan. So these guys, there's good and there's opportunities to improve in the first preseason game. It is the first one. We'll continue to rotate these guys, and we'll let this whole week play itself out and put ourselves in position to make some decisions for the Jacksonville game.
Real quick, go to Six Alondra, because they were, just as a follow-up to that, he was asked if the reps were going to be similar, where Rattler started, Shuck followed, and then obviously throughout the week of practice as well.
There might be some mixing and matching kind of the rest of the week here, just to kind of continue to rotate those guys, and then we'll just make a decision as far as Jacksonville game.
I want to see Tyler Shuck get the start. I want to see him get the lion's share of the reps this week. Not because I think he should be ordained. I just want to see what that looks like. I mean, if you're going to continue this exercise of going through camp, trying to determine who's going to be your starter, then you've got to give him looks. I mean, I'm not telling you anything you don't know or that Kellen Moore doesn't obviously know. But I would like to see, this is really what happened a year ago also when Derek Carr wasn't playing in the preseason and they were rotating between Rattler and Haener, and how they would manage those reps for the second spot. And ultimately where they landed on, it wasn't even initially, because the first time Derek Carr got hurt, we did see Jake Haener. So, and then Rattler became the starter. It wasn't that dissimilar from when we saw Jameis Winston, when we saw Drew Brees get hurt. Jameis was the backup quarterback in game, but when they had a full week to prepare, Taysom was the starter. Now I'm going back to 2020 in this situation here, but that's because Taysom, they had a game week plan where Taysom was in the game plan that week as his Taysom role. And so if Brees got hurt and they moved Taysom into quarterback, well, now you're eliminating not only Breeze, but also Taysom in his Taysom role. In the middle of a game, Jameis stepped in, and you could keep Taysom in his role. But when they went into a game week, a full week to prepare and game plan, that's when they had Taysom as the starting quarterback. That was in the COVID year. This is different now because you're trying to determine what it looks like when one of these guys gets the start, gets the lion's share of the reps, all that stuff. You saw it with Rattler. Let's see it with Shuck. Let's see if it's any different. One more from Kellen Moore. And Kellen, and God bless, I understand it. I don't think he's going to give us anything too salacious, and I don't know that there's anything too salacious to say. And maybe this is just a product of the circumstance surrounding the New Orleans Saints, or maybe this is just what Kellen Moore is going to be like for as long as he's the New Orleans Saints coach. He's not going to say anything to the media. That's fine if it's what it is. Every coach handles this differently. But he was asked how the quarterbacks have progressed through camp.
No doubt. This is Tyler's first NFL training camp. You cannot rush to judgment. You got to go through this whole process. He's going to get better each and every day. There's a lot of things that are first time trial and error, and then you get better the second time. You don't see a lot of the same mistakes. And even for Spencer, I mean, this is his second camp. This is a new system for him. There's going to be some trial and error. You can't make the same mistakes twice, and I think that's the beauty of what you're seeing between these guys and Jake. And Hunter doesn't get as many reps, but he gets all the mental component of this thing. These guys are working their tails off.
So they'll continue. The Saints will be on the practice field this evening on Wednesday. Thursday, they're expected to have joint practices with the Rams. They'll fly home on Friday, walk through Saturday, play Jacksonville on Sunday. But I would like to see it inverted. I would like to see Shuck get the start this time and get the lion's share of the reps. And then if you're going to make a decision in the final week of the preseason who your starter is going to be, then let that player, whoever it is, Rattler or Shuck, do what we used to see in the third preseason game. In the former era when they would play 4 preseason games, you would see the starter, whomever that would be, by the third preseason game end up playing like a full half, maybe into the third quarter, and then didn't play it all in the 4th preseason game. I'd kind of like to see this one flip from the first and the third one treated like what the third preseason game used to be, where it's just you're ramping up whoever your starter is going to be. But we'll see how Kellen Moore chooses to handle it. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. We'll continue our SEC fall previews. We're going in order of LSU's opponents. So today, we'll talk about the Alabama Crimson Tide. Nick Kelly of AL.com is next.
AFR.
Hump Day shows are brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. I get it, funny name, logo, all that stuff. But at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, it's so much more than just ED treatments. Yes, they do ED treatments. And they do more than just the oral, the pill. I was talking to Gabe over there. I was actually over at Goodwood today because I was picking up my NAD and my BPC, my NAD plus my BPC 157. And he was telling me they have a new peptide, which actually is another alternate therapy for both men and women that can help with libido. So, guys, if maybe your wife says she's maybe premenopausal or in menopause, is struggling with her libido, this is something like a peptide that could be potentially helpful for her also. But I've told you about my own experience with like BPC 157. If you struggle with injury, this is amazing for recovery. It's also derived from gastric juice, so it helps with people with gut issues. Learn more about what is there. Lowest prices, never any contracts. yourgoodwood.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Parish Construction and Roofing. This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs. From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Run away, but hold her down with soggy clothes and breeze blocks. Cetirizine, your fever, scream me again. Never kisses, or do you ever send a full stop? Do you know where the muffins go? They go along to take your honey. Way down how we...
I'm glad you're rolling along with us here. Cole Cubelic will be along in about 15 minutes from right now. We'll talk to our buddy Jake Crain from Crain and Company next hour. We are taking our tour around the SEC, our fall camp previews. We're going in order of LSU's opponents. So pretty easy way to figure out. Yesterday we looked at Texas A&M. Today, it's the Alabama Crimson Tide. Nick Kelly covers the Tide for AL.com. Good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. Hey, Nick, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
Hey, thanks for having me, Matt. I'm doing well. Yourself?
Doing really well. Thank you for asking. Better question maybe is, how's the vibe around Tuscaloosa after, I think it's fair to say, a lackluster first season under Calandro DeBoer with 4 losses, with expectations in Tuscaloosa that never subside?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a up and down roller coaster kind of experience where there's a lot of pessimism right as the season ended. Where, I mean, they lost to a JV Michigan team in the Rely Quest Bowl. I mean, that was a pretty low moment.
A JV Michigan team.
I mean, it was.
It's true.
It was
it's a good way to put it. Yeah.
It was not a good Michigan team,
yeah.
And it didn't go well for Alabama. So things were not great then. But I think ever since, optimism's been building. I think a big piece of that was they bring in Ryan Grubb, who's obviously a proven OC, who's very successful at the college level. And then, yeah, just the moves they made in the offseason. And, of course, optimism's, I think, common in most places in college football this time of year. But
yes.
The optimism's really high, I think, in Tuscaloosa right now. And I think that's because of who they added, because of the fact that they kept all their team together in the spring window. So overall, it just seems like, I mean, I think fans are just ready for year 2, push year 1 in the rearview mirror and move on, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, August is the most optimistic month of the year for every single fan base. You mentioned
everyone's undefeated, right?
Yeah, everyone is undefeated. You mentioned Ryan Grubb. So here's my most interesting question is, they bring in Ryan Grubb, and I think we all know Grubb and DeBoer worked together for a long time. They hired him, and then he went to the Seahawks and all that stuff. How, if at all, different will the offense look with Ryan Grubb there this year?
It's going to look different, but I think part of that is they have a different quarterback. They have a quarterback who I think can run that system better. But I do think it's going to be a system that is more focused on attacking downfield and making sure they connect on passes deep downfield, but also take care of the football. I think that was their biggest issue a year ago, is they were a little careless at times with the football, and that put the defense in some rough spots. We talk about that Michigan game. We talk about the Oklahoma game. I mean, there were some not winning plays made, if you will, losing plays, probably a better way to put that, by the offense. So I think Ryan Grubb is stressing taking care of the football, making sure that they take gimme plays, if you will, is the phrase that's been thrown around. So, yeah, I'm intrigued to see what it looks like myself, but I think a lot of what it will look different is because they have a different quarterback.
So Ty Simpson, I saw the report, is going to be the guy. Was this ever really a competition, Nick, or was this always seemingly preordained?
I would say that it was a competition, but Ty was always the heavy favorite.
Okay.
In part because he was the veteran guy. I mean, he hasn't started much, but he was a guy who's been around. And I think this offense, more than anything, needs a guy who's going to just make smart plays and take care of the football. They don't need Superman. They just need a guy who can facilitate with the Ryan Williams, with the Isaiah Hortons, and guys that they have on the offensive side of the ball. So it always made sense they would maybe take a guy who's a little more steady and maybe not as high of a ceiling, but someone that they trust. And I just thought it was going to be a long shot for them to put a true freshman out there from the beginning. Now, if Ty Simpson doesn't play well, maybe things change. But, yeah, I'm not surprised at all they went with a more veteran, safer pick.
Nick Kelly's with us, AL.com. He's on Twitter at _Nick Kelly. You want to give him a follow for your Alabama coverage. What, Nick, maybe aside from quarterback, what is the biggest question on the offensive side?
It's not the most exciting, but I would say tight end. They have to replace C.J. Dupree and Robbie Oots, both who are in NFL camps, and Robbie Oots was a draft pick by the Seahawks. They're phenomenal blockers. You can ask your next guest about Robbie Oots. Cole Cubelic, I think, loved him some Robbie Oots. So you got to replace that.
Cole loves a blocker, man. He loves a good blocker.
I've heard rumors of such. So, but no, Robbie Oots, those are some key pieces that they had last year. So they have to replace that, and they had a bunch of injuries at tight end, and so they've got a lot of different faces. And I just don't feel certain about that position. They've got some options, but otherwise, I mean, that's the thing. Again, we're in the season of optimism, but I feel good about the receivers. Maybe one of the best groups in the country at that position. Running back wise, Jam Miller, I think, has had a really good fall camp. The offensive line, I think, has improved. Quarterback, of course, you could talk about is we don't know what to expect there, but otherwise, I think tight ends is the only spot I don't feel certain about.
If you flip it over defensively, I guess same question for a unit that returns a lot from a season ago. Where is the big question mark defensively?
That's easy. It's pass rush. Even though the defense had a good season last year, the pass rush was inconsistent at best. And that's the thing. Kane Womack had to come up, the defensive coordinator, to come up with a lot of creativity to blitz, to create pressure. And they didn't have guys that were necessarily winning one-on-one battles on a frequent basis. They didn't have a Will Anderson or a Dallas Turner type. Most teams don't. But Alabama was in that camp that didn't have one. And they need to improve the pass rush. They need guys who scare some offenses that teams have to focus on blocking. And so I think that's the biggest focus is, can they get that? I think they've got some guys who have potential for that. LT Overton's at the front of that list. He was the king of the almost sack. He got pressure, but he seemed to rarely get home at times. And I think he's been working on improving that. But yeah, they've got some other guys they need to step up as well and win off the edge. So pass rush is my biggest question, because otherwise, guys, I mean, the secondary I think is going to be phenomenal. They've got some vets in the middle of the defense at linebacker. The defensive line, they've got some dudes. So it just all comes down to, what does the pass rush look like? What do they look like off the edge?
I always, Nick, whenever I look at a team before the season that I'm trying to project, I always look at two things. My audience knows this. They've heard me say it a million times over the years. I look at who has the fewest questions against the most manageable schedule. So we talked about some of the questions that Alabama has lingering. Let's look at the schedule. When you look at Alabama's slate, what is the most important stretch that's going to determine whatever this season becomes for Alabama?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say the stretch from, I know I'm talking to a Baton Rouge station or Louisiana station, but I'm going to go with an earlier portion of SEC play, going from Georgia to then I believe Vanderbilt, then I think it's
Missouri.
Yeah, Missouri. And then you have Tennessee. I mean, those are some games right there that Missouri's a potential trap game because they have some emotional games. I can't believe I'm about to say it, against Vanderbilt, considering they want to get revenge there with Diego Pavia.
Yeah.
But I mean, that game has some emotions tied to it. And then you have Tennessee shortly after in the month of October. That obviously is a rivalry game, emotions tied to that. So those are two games that are important that Alabama, I think, needs to win, avenge from last year. But then you have Missouri, a road trip there. Alabama struggled on the road at times last year. So, yeah, can Alabama sustain and make sure they don't let up in any of those games? I think that stretch. And, of course, again, going to Athens, playing Georgia is not going to be easy at all. So we'll see what happens over those. I think that's what, 4-ish, 5-ish games there.
No, you're right. That's a stretch of 5 consecutive. You get the open date before the trip to Georgia, but Georgia starts 5 straight weeks of conference play, which I think you're right. I mean, that's a haul for any team. I mean, that is a gauntlet. Then the open date before they play LSU in Tuscaloosa. Nick, I do want to get a thought on the 2 Power 5 non-conference games, which I'll tip my hat. Like, I want to see teams play. I wish everybody would eliminate the goofy G5 FCS nonsense from their schedule. And I know there's like an Eastern Illinois game or whatever it is later down the stretch, but game at Florida State and a home game against Wisconsin. I mean, those types of games that fans want to see. What should we expect? I mean, opening up in Tallahassee and then a game in Tuscaloosa against Wisconsin.
Yeah, I agree. I love the Power 4 non-conference schedule. And I think it's great for college football. It's great for the fans. It's great for us in the media. Like, more, please.
Yeah.
But, yeah, as far as those matchups.
Nick, who wakes up on a September Saturday and goes, yeah, Bama ULM, let's flipping go? It just doesn't exist. Like, but I know I'm gonna go on a tangent now. It's just they've all got to collectively agree to do it, because no one's just gonna voluntarily disadvantage themselves by playing all Power 4 non-conference. But we'll get there eventually. Anyway, I'm sorry. We can start with Florida State.
Yeah, we could probably do a whole segment on that, Matt. But Florida State, that's going to be an interesting game because you got Gus Malzahn, Alabama's old buddy, calling that offense. And those offenses have given Alabama troubles at times. Now, that was against Nick Saban teams, but that's intriguing. And then you have the fact that Thomas Castellanos had some fighting words about Alabama.
What is he doing? Nick, what's he doing?
It wasn't. I mean, I love it because it's fun when people can have a little fun with this, like a little maybe UFC or something like that. But yeah, I love that kind of energy. But if you think that Alabama's not using that or thinking about that, then you'd be mistaken. I think that definitely. I think that the phrase was that disrespect will be addressed, and so that was noticed. So I think it adds some fun fuel there. But I'll be surprised. I mean, Florida State's gonna be better than a year ago. They have to be. I mean, how could you not be? But I'd be surprised if Alabama starts 0-1. At least that would shock me. And then that Wisconsin game. I mean, the Badgers, I don't think are going to be anything to write home about. So I think that will probably be another Alabama win. But still, nonetheless, I think it will be fun to have the Badgers fans come to Tuscaloosa. It was fun to go to Madison last year and see all those fans up there and that turnout. So still, even if it's not going to be a great matchup, I think it's going to be a fun atmosphere.
If Kalen DeBoer does not make the playoff in year 2, what are the ramifications?
Well, the seat's going to get awfully hot. I mean, for the people who have asked if that gets him fired, his buyout's too big. To me, that it would shock me if he's not given a third year. But yeah, I mean, the expectation, if 2 years in a row that Alabama does not make the playoff, I mean, that's just not good enough. They know that last year wasn't good enough. That a 9-3 and then 9-4 season was not okay. And they also recognize, I remember Caden Proctor talked about it at SEC Media Days, they know it's been a long time since they've won a championship. Mind you, if they don't win this year, it'll have been 5 years, which I think some fan bases would think that's nothing. But 5 years without a championship, those are like dog years. So, yeah, I mean, the pressure's on, and I think they feel it. But I will be shocked, honestly, Matt, if Alabama's not in the playoff. I think they just have too much talent. And again, season optimism, but having been around enough Alabama teams, I'm just going to be surprised if they're not in the mix for that 12-team playoff or if they don't make it.
He is Nick Kelly, AL.com. He's on Twitter @_Nick Kelly. Y'all give him a follow there. Nick, we appreciate it, man. Thank you for the time.
Hey, thanks for having me. Have a good one, guys.
Man, you do the same. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. We're not got a quick break. Cole Cubelic's here next.
After Further Review.
We're brought to you by Glow Resources. They are complete employer solutions. Check them out at glowresources.com, glowresources.com. You know where to find them, glowresources.com. Our friends over at Glow Resources, man, Jareth Knockan and his staff have done such an awesome job of continuing to grow and expand while maintaining home base right here in Louisiana. You know, yes, they specialize in skilled blue-collar labor, but they have their professional placement division as well. So if you're looking for that white-collar position, you know, they can make a move for an employee to a customer when the customer may fall short. Like, the customer's focused on their business. Glow focuses on hiring. You know, they do 50 interviews a day. That's 15,000 interviews a year. Like, how many interviews do you do in a year at your business? That's why you need Glow Resources. glowresources.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Businesses like yours are the soul of our community. You deserve someone who'll deliver the internet services you deserve. That's why local businesses rely on Rev Business, 90 years of building connections. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
We came up with the idea of auctions in August. Gulf Coast Bank does all the work. We display the item. We prominently feature it in social media, on our website.
After Further Review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
I was having a conversation with Cole Cubelic and Greg McElroy on their show on Jocks FM in Birmingham on Monday, and I kind of wanted to continue it here with Cole, so he's good enough to jump aboard. He's on Twitter at Cole Cubelic. You know where to find him. Yo, man, thanks for the time. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Awesome. We were talking a little bit. The biggest question people have here about LSU is the offensive line. Makes sense, right? You lose 4 starters to the NFL draft. One of them is the 4th pick overall. I get it. Big question. My contention so far has been watching this team, Cole. They got a lot of talent on the offensive line, but 5 have to learn to play as one. If I asked you, as a guy who played center in the SEC, what is a realistic timeline to think that 5 guys that have never played together could gel and play as one unit effectively?
Ooh, it's going to be weeks. I mean, you have groups that go a year or two together that can't really ever pull that off, that never find their way to be, from a continuity standpoint, a group that really gets it and understands it. So I wouldn't really expect it to be elite. I mean, the good news is you got a great offensive line coach there in Baton Rouge, and the understanding with some of the guys that are maybe younger but have been in the system, that's going to help. But man, I tell people all the time, Matt, it doesn't happen until you've done it together against people trying to make you look bad a lot of times. And Brian Kelly's at a disadvantage because college football just doesn't allow that a whole lot these days. He's just not in pads a ton. So, and then you're going to get a guy that misses a practice because he's dehydrated and he cramped up. You're going to get a guy that has a knee sprain. You're going to get a guy that has a concussion, whatever it is. And it's like, how often are those 5 really together anyway? And that's where the groups, kind of like what Florida has this year, that have spent 2-3 years together, the majority of them, that practice time, those game reps together. You know, it's I've talked to multiple offensive linemen the last couple of years that have said, you know, these game reps are like practice reps now. Like, we need those together to grow, to understand, to see what it's going to be like. Because number one, you don't get that kind of practice time a whole lot, and then 2, they just hadn't been together as long.
Yeah. How do you think they compensate? Like the coordinator, schematically, how do you compensate for that potential deficiency?
Well, exactly like you did last year. You just don't hand the ball off.
You know what's interesting, Cole? We talked to Joe Sloan on Friday, and he said point blank, like, we're going to run the ball. And I know Will Campbell said it last year, but Will Campbell kind of said it like with this bravado. Joe Sloan's like, no, like, we've got to. And so one of the things we're seeing a lot, Cole, is it's just creativity. It's direct snaps to the running backs. It's jet sweeps. It's receivers in the backfield. It's just all these different ways.
Listen, there are ways to circumvent this, okay? And the good news is a lot of how offense has been designed recently has been designed for that. Hurry up, no huddle, spread offense. Like, they don't do that because they have better receivers than everybody. Most of that stuff was created because they couldn't get the guys blocked. So they want to try to wear you down by the end of the game, and then therefore your size strength advantage on the defensive line wasn't as much of an advantage anymore. Why do you think Baylor, Tennessee, all these other teams are lining up their receivers 4 inches from each sideline? Well, it's not because they're so good at receiver their one-on-ones are going to beat you. They need your bigger bodies away from the football. So you either decide you're going to play half a man, advantage that defense, you're going to leave the receivers out there by themselves, probably advantage offense, or you're going to play in the box, which then gives them other things they can do through the passing game. And then mobile quarterbacks, what does that do? Forces an extra defender to be closer to the football, and you're going to have to play either a bigger style or give you different advantages somewhere else. But most of these things, slide protection, you hear me complain about it all the time, Matt. Basically, you guys can't pass protect. So what do? You take one gap each, you stay hip to hip, you stay kind of locked up where you don't feel like you're going to give away that penetration. That's all that has been designed because there's not a lot of Alan Fanekas running around. I mean, that's just what it is. And, you know, we've gotten further and further away from developing that position. Now with the transfer portal, these kids are not playing next to each other for very long. You got to find different ways to help them out. So all the motion that you see, that's not just like Steve Sarkisian trying to get a receiver on a safety. A lot of that is, I mean, when you watch it, there's a play called split zone. You'll run inside zone to the right. That receiver or the tight end will come across the opposite direction. And if you ever pay close enough attention to that, a lot of times that off-the-ball linebacker will take one step with that, we call it a splitter or a slider, who comes the opposite direction. That gives you a huge advantage, not for the running back to hit the hole when he's not there, but just for that offensive lineman to be able to get up and get the correct angle on him because he took that one false step. All of a sudden, advantage us. Hell, even if you're doing that with your eyes, that's a big advantage for us. So there's a lot of different ways you can help it with motions, with split zone, with bootlegs, play fakes. Hey, I'll tell you another thing. Like, Nussmeier needs to keep a zone read every now and then and just run it. Just show that it can happen, because then now all of a sudden you freeze the backside of that defense. You force that off-the-ball linebacker to play a little bit more straight up, and that gives the offensive line different advantages in different ways.
I want to ask another follow-up in just a second, but since we're kind of going down this road, this is a deviation. You get to go watch these teams not only on TV, but you get to watch the SEC teams in person and talk to the coaches and the players in game week and all. If I just totally open-ended, who is the best quarterback in the SEC going into this season?
Right now, I would say Garrett Nussmeier.
Who's number 2?
Okay, let's go through the list here because I know what you're probably getting at is that most people are going to easy answer say Lagway.
No, I'm not getting at anything.
Sellers.
I'm not getting.
No, but I'm trying to think it out here. I'm trying to think out loud because I think the guy that probably deserves to be in that conversation that's not going to be is going to be Taylon Green at Arkansas. He's just been limited from a weapons and an overall offensive, I guess, talent standpoint. Lagway and Sellers are going to be towards the top. We don't know much about Ty Simpson. Obviously, Jackson Arnold's got a lot to prove. We don't know what Bo Purbuell is going to be like at Missouri. So Arch Manning, I think, is still a very limited sample size, so I don't put him even in the top 3 right now. We don't know enough about Austin Simmons. I think we know what Blake Shapen is, but he's just got to be available and be healthy, which honestly is becoming part of the problem with DJ Lagway. Like, I need you to be available. And it's been in small doses, but miss time. Like, that can't keep happening and you be the best quarterback in the SEC. So I think right now I would say Nussmeier, Lagway, Sellers, probably in that order. But keep in mind, you asked who the best quarterback was. And that's different than who can run the fastest and who can throw the farthest or throw the hardest.
Yeah, and honestly, it wasn't leading. I just was.
And John Mateer needs to be in that discussion. But I hate the whole who's your first team All SEC quarterback? A guy who's never taken a snap in the SEC. Like, I just have a hard time doing that. Like, I think John Mateer is going to be great. I think Deion Burks is going to be awesome. I think that defensive line is the best D-line in the SEC right now. But it's like, I just have a hard time saying you're the first team All SEC quarterback, even though you've never taken a snap in the SEC. Like, that's just something my brain can't really grasp. But John Mateer is going to be in that conversation or at the top of that list by the end of the season.
Okay. You alluded to a minute ago when I was talking about LSU running the ball, and you said, well, because they don't hand it off. And I know you feel strongly about this. But to bring this conversation full circle, LSU did have 4 guys last year on the offensive line that had played 170 collegiate games combined and had started with each other for 3 years, and they couldn't run the ball. Why?
You're going to do this again.
What?
You're going to do this again.
What was the – I want you to do this for my audience. What was the problem with LSU last year? Why they were 107th in the country in rushing offense?
I'm going to stick to what I've told you for an entire offseason, and I guess we're just going to get to the point that you're not going to believe me.
No, you just haven't told my audience. You've told me this on your show at SEC Media Days. I want you to tell our audience.
You cannot be good at running the football without an attempt to do so. You cannot. Put the Alabama game on. Watch the first play. Watch the fourth play. Watch the first play of the third quarter. And then why doesn't that happen again? I know score dictates some things later in games. Same thing in the A&M game. Like, you can't tell me they could never run the ball. That wasn't a real thing. Without an attempt to run the ball or being so selective with when you decide to run the ball, that's not Will Campbell's fault. That's not Emory Jones' fault. It's not Mason Taylor even fault when he's trying to help his tight end. You can't just say, okay, 3rd and 1. Now, guys, we have to get 2 yards of movement here. We have to bulldoze these guys into the end zone for a touchdown. It doesn't work that way. Like, you live the life that you live. Like, I can't go run a marathon tomorrow. I don't live that life. I'm not a marathon runner. Like, it's not real. I can't just say, you know what, guys? And this is hilarious because McElroy said this on our show a couple weeks ago. He's like, I could do a triathlon right now. And I was like, you are out of your mind. You completely lost it. And then he changed it to like I guess there's different levels of marathons, and he's like the regular person or triathlon. I mean, he's like the regular person triathlon. I could do that. And it's like half a mile, and a mile and a half instead of like 20 miles, and 10 miles.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane. Well, like an Ironman is you do a 3-mile swim, 100-mile bike ride, and then a full marathon. He's certifiably insane if he thinks he can do that.
Your rear end would be so raw on that bike ride, not even halfway through it, that you'd quit. And
he wouldn't
shut it down.
He wouldn't get to the bike ride, Cole. A 3-mile swim. A 3-mile swim is insane.
but he'll sit there and tell you he can do it today. I was like, your arms would fall off after a mile of swimming because you're not going to use your legs the way you're supposed to. Like that's how all of us non-Olympians swim. So, but back to it. Back to the reality here. Saban said this a long time ago, and people didn't really catch on to it. And it's when Tua was at Alabama, and they had a similar problem, somewhat similar problem. They would have games be up, 10, 14, 13, whatever, early fourth quarter, and they'd go up there and try to run the ball, and they'd get stuffed. And people would badger Saban at the end of games about it. And finally, after the third or fourth game in a row that this happened, he lost it in a press conference. He said, let me tell you guys something. He said, when you got a quarterback as talented as ours and you give him the option to throw the ball or hand the ball off, what do you think he's going to do 90% of the time? Because you're right, he's going to throw the ball. So in practice, when our offensive line's asked to run block, and they run block, slant, pass over the middle, out route. At some point in time, your brain starts to say, why in the hell are we doing this? Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect things. The only thing affecting thing is, can Jerry Jeudy make the catch? Is Devonta Smith going to get 50 yards or 15 yards after he catches this ball? We don't dictate what happens in the game. Then all of a sudden you get to that point in the game and you say, okay, guys, need you to go be some caterpillars here now. Go be some earth movers. We haven't done that in a long time, but now you want us to do that. It doesn't work that way. You live the life that you live every single day in practice, in games, whatever that is. And you can't just all of a sudden say, all right, I'm going to go live this different life now, and we need to be a bunch of bullies and go push people around. It's not how an offensive line can operate. So I will stick to this. I don't think that offensive line could not run block last year. I don't think that offensive line was given a fair chance to be good run blockers last year, because selectively doing it once a quarter, once a half, once every 3 games is not giving me the opportunity to prove to you what I'm about and what I can do, because teams are going to slant, teams are going to stack the box, teams are going to move, teams are going to blitz. And if you do those 1 out of 3 times, when we're running the ball 1 out of 33 times, and you win the one time we decide to run it, you're going to look at that and say, those guys can't run block. When either the numbers weren't right or the situation was bad and they just happen to have our number on that play, you've got to give me consecutive opportunities to go out there and prove that we can be that kind of a unit. And I don't honestly feel like they were given that chance last year.
Cole Cubelic, SEC Network, Mac and Cube on Jocks FM, the Cube Show on YouTube, and Tuesday Date Night as well.
Tuesday Date Night.
I love this.
We got a very controversial episode this week.
If you don't know, Cole and his wife do a podcast together called Tuesday Date Night, and you should go subscribe to that. I want to listen to it on my way home tonight. What's controversial about it?
Well, there's a vasectomy scheduled for Friday, and the controversy is whether or not I'll show up for it. So,
why would you do that?
I'm doing it against my will.
Yeah.
I'm doing it at the wishes of my wife.
Okay.
And as someone who legitimately has had 14 operations, probably 10 of those serious operations, and has never had an ounce of fear about any of them. I had a foot surgery where Dr. James Andrews, legendary trackster at LSU, by the way, I believe pole vaulter,
no doubt,
told me when he was getting ready for me to go under that we've never done this before, so hopefully it goes well. Didn't care. Said, put me to sleep. We're good. I had a screw in my foot that was bent. He told me that the bone was stronger than the screw. When they began to torque it and pull it out, it could break. And I said, what happens if it breaks? He said, we'll let you wake up and talk about it then. I'm like, just get it done. Didn't worry about it. Didn't have a single ounce of fear, no anxiety whatsoever. I don't really know what anxiety is, I don't think, but I feel like I'm figuring it out because I've got it now with this. And I cannot get my brain comfortable with it. I sweat and hyperventilate when I talk about it. And she just thinks it's, oh, you need to go in there and do that. We're going to get that taken care of. And it's not that easy. It's not something that I feel okay. I had 15 people DM me on Instagram today after listening to the show saying, it's not a big deal. You'll be fine. There are no words that are going to bring comfort to this for me. There's not. So I don't know why people are trying.
It's Tuesday Date Night. Check it out wherever you get your podcasts.
Very important question for you that we discussed on the podcast. We had pizza last night.
Okay.
Are you okay with burnt pizza?
Define burnt.
This fancy tile oven, brick oven, grilled, made, whatever it is, pizza.
Yeah, where it's like you bite into it, it's like it's
the
crispy.
thinner crust and it tastes like bark.
I'm good with it. It's not my preference, but I'll eat pretty much anything.
I told the lady last night, because we had been there before, and I said, I would like mine taken out when it's halfway finished.
I gotta go. I got a hard break. I gotta go. Thank you for the time.
See ya.
See you. That's Cole Cubelic. It's AMR.
After further review.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Oh, man. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. We should have just done the whole interview about the Tuesday date night pod. We can do the football conversations anytime, anywhere. We should have just been talking about the vasectomy and the burnt pizza. That's way more interesting. All right, Clegg's Nursery, 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Seaganeer Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. You know where they are. I tell you every day to buy local and shop local. Y'all, fall is here. They're playing football out at LSU in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from Saturday. It's fall. It's time to plant your fall vegetable garden. They've got your vegetable plants. They've got Johnny Naylor seeds. They've got all the fall bedding plants as well. Best selection, new arrivals every single day. Great exercise and activity for the family to do together. And garden to table produce is delicious. Clegg's Nursery.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded. Because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
I'm going to move quickly here since Cole took up a lot of time talking about vasectomies and burnt pizza. Alondra, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
For what it's worth, I love burnt pizza. So
when we go to there's a Jabby's by our house, And Erica loves jabbies. It's fine. It's it's just whatever.
Yeah.
Right? It's just whatever. Erica's like, burn it. And so I go, and they're like, okay, crispy. I said, no. Whatever you think is crispy, like double that.
Yeah.
And then we'll take a look and see if it needs to go back in. Because she will send me back to make you put this back in the oven.
She gets me. I like a little tiny burnt pizza. I'll just give you a quick update on Aaron Nola real quick since we don't have too much time. But he's set to return to the Phillies after cruising through his latest rehab start. He struck out 11 in 5 2/3, gave up 4 hits and 2 runs.
Out 11 in 5 2/3.
So
hey, minor leaguer, here it comes.
He's scheduled to pitch on Sunday night for the Phillies versus the Nationals, but Rob Thompson says they may hold him for Monday, but his return is imminent.
Okay.
That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Evermore. Love me some Evermore. Aaron Nola drinks his Evermore. I actually don't know that, and I probably shouldn't say that because I can't prove that, but like
Dak Prescott does.
He does. That's on the website. I shouldn't say this, but they actually did no, I'm not going to say it. They did some NIL deals with quarterbacks last year. One of them wore number 4 with a red jersey or a crimson jersey. Yeah. How about we get 13 and white drinking that stuff? How about that? EVAMOR, Evermore.com. Drink Evermore. I love when people send me pictures of their Evermore all the time on my text line. I love it. Keep them coming. All right, y'all. Hour number 3 is coming straight up. We are going to talk to our buddy J-Boy, Jake Crain. He's got LSU 9-3. We'll have him explain his sins. Speak for your crimes.
AFR.
South Point Volkswagen is Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. And I say that all the time, and I say it slowly because remember, if they're the largest volume Volkswagen dealer, it means they got more inventory, so you got better selection. So if you're looking for certain body style, certain features, certain color, you can't get it somewhere else, well, South Point probably can. And if they don't have it, they can get it for you. And because they move more inventory, they can probably give you a better deal. So even if you live outside of Baton Rouge, it might be worth the drive to Baton Rouge to go to South Point Volkswagen if they can get the vehicle you want with the options you want, the color you want at a better price. South Point Volkswagen. And I love that they're always finding ways to give you even better deals. SouthPointVW.com, SouthPointVW.com. You can search their inventory, new and certified, pre-owned. The all-new electric ID4, how about $209 a month on a 24-month lease? What more are you waiting for, y'all? Get on by. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction?
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunnyquip.com.
While Louisiana politics can seem like they're from another planet, Moon Griffon isn't afraid to bring politicians back down to earth. Listen to the Moon Griffon Show weekday mornings at 9 on Talk 107.3.
We came up with the idea of auctions in August. Gulf Coast Bank does all the work. We display the item, we prominently feature it in social media, on our website, but we do it because it's the right thing to do for the community.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts weekday mornings at 6 on Talk 107.3.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Amid their starting quarterback competition, the injury bug has bitten the Browns again. Further medical testing and examination revealed that Shedeur Sanders has an oblique strain, considered day-to-day, won't practice tomorrow, and won't likely play in Saturday's preseason game. So who's Cleveland's starter to begin the season? Our Harry Douglas weighs in.
Joe Flacco will be in the starter to begin week 1. That's the plan, but at some point, I do feel like it will be organizational malpractice if you do not play Shedeur Sanders, if you do not play Dylan Gabriel. You just have to figure out a plan and what that looks like.
Tom Dundon, owner of the NHL's Carolina Hurricanes, agreed to buy the NBA's Portland Trail Blazers for a valuation of more than $4 billion. He does intend to keep the team in Portland. William Contreras, Christian Yelich combined for 7 RBI. Major League leading Brewers beat the Pirates 12-5 for their 12th consecutive win. AL Central leading Tigers top the White Sox 1-0. Padres lead the Giants 11-1 bottom 7. San Diego's in the thick of the NL West and NL wildcard races.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Lundra Villarreal. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Hey. Yeah.
It's hump day.
We got Jake Crain in 13 minutes.
Hump day.
J-Boy.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We're keeping it alive.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Our side piece.
It's hump day.
We had Nick Kelly last hour.
Hump day.
AL.com.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
They're expecting college football playoff in Tuscaloosa this year.
It's hump day.
They are going to be so disappointed again. I can't wait.
Hump day.
Cole Cubelic was here last hour.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
He's getting a vasectomy on Friday.
It's hump day.
And he likes burnt pizza, or his wife likes burnt pizza?
Hump day.
Yeah. Oh, we did talk football as well with Cole.
Mike.
Good stuff.
What day is it, Mike?
Good comment. Kellen Moore gave an update on Foster Moreau, Taysom Hill.
It's hump day.
Neither's close.
Hump day.
Saints signed a two-time all
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Saints signed a two-time all UFL offensive lineman to replace Will Clapp right now.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
See if you can make the team.
It's hump day.
Talk about that in a little bit.
Hump day.
Tigers on the practice field.
It's hump day.
We didn't get to go.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Tigers on the practice field tomorrow.
Hump day.
We don't get to go.
It's hump day.
Tigers on the practice field Friday.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
We get to go to that one. We get to watch the whole thing. Tigers on the practice field Saturday.
It's hump day.
We don't get to go to that.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
All right, let's get cranked up here. 5 o'clock hour. Glad you're hanging out. Jake Crain has LSU going 9-3 on Crain & Company. He's doing his SEC predictions. I want to get his thoughts on LSU, maybe some surprise teams in the league. We'll get to all that with Jake here in about a little more than 10 minutes from right now. We did have player availability with LSU a day ago. We played our one-on-one with Trades Green. Barry Brown, Ashton Stamps, Bernard Gooden all met with reporters. Barry Brown has been one of the stars of this camp. And it's so interesting because Barry Brown was at LSU in spring, and we did have media availability in the spring. It's just so interesting that Barry Brown, I can go back and look at my notes and in my spring practice reports, but he wasn't the guy that was getting a lot of attention in spring football. But my goodness, as he popped off here in this fall camp. He wears number 6. He flies. It's basically every practice he's beaten somebody over the top for a big play. And Nussmeier and he have developed a really good rapport here in this fall camp. And Barry Brown did mention to reporters what his time has been like so far at LSU.
What's your time at LSU been like so far?
Man, amazing. They just took me in like a child. So, man, I love the teammates, coaching staff, cafeteria ladies, janitors. Just everybody in general, it just feel home, and I just feel like it was a great place to be. Happy I made the decision.
I believe he is over the moon being at LSU. I want to remind you that Barry Brown, as a freshman at Kentucky, caught 50 passes for 628 yards. He also returned a kickoff for a touchdown. He was a freshman All-American. As a sophomore, he went from 50 catches down to 43 catches, but he returned 3 kickoffs for touchdowns. Then last year as a junior, he went down to 29 receptions. So he went from 50 to 43 to 29. I mean, that's what happens when you've got Brock Vandegrift throwing you the football. So he comes to LSU, and this is a place where Aaron Anderson returns, your leading receiver from a year ago. Xavier Thomas is back. Trades Green is back. They bring in Bauer Sharp. You got Kyle Parker hanging around. They bring in Nick Anderson via the portal as well. Y'all, there's only one ball. And so if I'm Barry Brown, I'm looking around. I would be looking around going, man, would you go somewhere where you're going to be like the guy or the only guy? But the other side of that coin is if you go somewhere where you're the guy or the only guy, you're also getting all of the attention. Now, what if he gets 5 targets a game and catches 4 passes for 50 yards a game? Which I think is certainly doable for Barry Brown as an average. So you're talking about a guy that then statistically looks more like he did as a freshman on a team that has a chance to win a championship. Makes a lot of sense. I think Barry Brown's going to be a guy that it will be impossible to miss when LSU plays Clemson week 1 because 6 will be on the field and he will be running safeties straight out of the back of the end zone and Nuss will be looking for him deep, and they're going to be exciting to see. The flip side of that, of course, also is the defensive backfield. And Ashton Stamps is a guy, if I had to pick who I think the starting corners will be snap 1 against Clemson, I would tell you Ashton Stamps and Mansour Delane. Stamps is a 3-year player. He got thrown into action a bunch as a freshman on that awful defense in 2023. A year ago, got picked on a lot because teams went away from Zy Alexander, so they went at Ashton Stamps. So statistically, when you look at pass breakups and things like that, he kind of stuffed the stat sheet because he was picked on a bunch, but he was steady. I don't think anyone's is gonna mistake Ashton Stamps for freshman Derek Stingley or senior Tre'Davious White or junior Morris Claiborne or anything like that. I'm not telling you this is a guy that's going to win the Thorpe, but could Ashton Stamps this year look like Jark Bernard Converse did in 2022 in Brian Kelly's first year? A guy that's played a lot of football and is just a very steady player. I think that's very realistic. Stamps was asked the difference. This is number 2, Calandro. The difference from his freshman year to now, and considering this is a guy that's basically played a ton of football over these past couple of years, now as a veteran on the team.
Coming, since my freshman year, going to my sophomore year, that was a big switch even from my freshman to sophomore year because, I came in, under the radar. I was a 3-star. I was the last, offer in my class. So coming in, the confidence may not have been, where it's at now. But I worked my way through it, even though I had, 2 different, position coaches. But going from my freshman year to my sophomore year, I just worked. I put my head down. And then, once I got into my sophomore year, it was more of I already, know like what goes on, like how to do it, like the right way. So everything slowed down for me. I went on the field, I made plays, and then, that's all it is.
He had 14 PBUs a year ago. So he's now played, Ashton Stamps has played in 24 games with 17 starts. I mean, he's now an experienced veteran player. And he had 14 PB. As a freshman, he had 2. He had 2 pass breakups as a freshman. Then last year, back as a sophomore, starting, he had 14, as I mentioned, because teams were effectively going away from Zy Alexander. So when you look at, at those pass breakups, Ashton Stamps had 14. The next closest on the team was Sage Ryan, who had 5. I mean, Whit Weeks, Braden Swinson, Jordan Gilbert, Devon Keys, they all had 3. Zy Alexander had 4. Zy Alexander had 4 pass breakups. Ashton Stamps had 14. Like, they were just throwing at him all the time. And he fared well. And so now you have a guy going into his junior year where he is confident, and you have a legit starter also on the other side in Mansour Delane, and you've got a freakishly athletic 5-star in DJ Pickett coming. There's a lot of reason to like that group. I know we talked about the practice report from Tuesday where the secondary won the day. And listen, there's a lot of days and reps where Aaron Anderson is beating Ashton Stamps or Arian Brown's beating Ashton Stamps. That's going to happen. I mean, that's just life of being a defensive back. But he's won plenty enough reps to deserve everybody's respect to be a guy that's likely going to be a day 1, snap 1 starter against Clemson coming up 2 weeks from Saturday. All right, it's after further review. We're brought to you by Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor, have mold think you might? Parish Restoration. Remember, it's more effective. It's more cost-effective. It's a patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. People ask me all the time. I get texts and emails going, what's the mold thing you always talk about? Well, it's Parish Restoration. And if you forget, no worries. Shoot me an email. Shoot me a text, a tweet, a DM, whatever. I'll always shoot you the link. But it's really easy. Just parishrestoration.com. Parishrestoration.com. Fill out the form on the homepage. Parishrestoration.com. They'll come by. They'll give you an estimate. It doesn't matter if it's an apartment complex, your home, a commercial building, school, church, office building, kill mold, sanitization. Got, a sickness going around throughout. Maybe you got odor from smoke, pets, from sweat. Maybe it's a gym, and you just have that ugly, nasty sweat odor. They'll come in, spray. It'll kill all those bacteria. It'll kill the odor. Be fresh smelling in half a day. It's Parish Restoration. Parishrestoration.com. All right, y'all, been a really good show. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Hump Day shows are brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, yourgoodwood.com. Jake Crain's going to join us when we come back. Always enjoy talking to Jake Crain, Crain and Company. We'll knock it around a little bit, talking about the Southeastern Conference. Get Jake's thoughts, not only on LSU, but here as we're close to pushing off from the dock in 2025 in the SEC schedule. Get some of Jake's thoughts on how things might transpire this year in the SEC. Stick around here. It's AFR.
AFR.
If I was going to have knee surgery, Cole Cubelic was with us just a bit ago, and he told this story about how Dr. James Andrews did a procedure on his foot where a screw was bent and they had to get it out, didn't know what happened with the bone. You know who I want doing that surgery? I want Dr. James Andrews doing that surgery. I want an experienced orthopedic surgeon that's done that so many times that them doing that surgery is like you or me riding a bike or breathing. Why would you want anything different with your realtor? If you need to sell your home, Wouldn't you want to hire the realtor that literally sells more homes than anyone? There's got to be a method, a reason why for a decade straight, Darren James is on the Wall Street Journal Real Trends list of the top 1% of realtors in America. Telling you one call to Darren James, you'll understand why. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Value Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Dependability. Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Tiger Country is 100.7 The Tiger. In the car on 100.7 FM or on the 100.7 The Tiger.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
You prank call and LSU coaches show. You have a permanent invite onto this show forever. That's Jay Crain, a.k.a. J-Boy. Good enough to join us from Crain and Company. How are you, dude?
Now, why are you spreading misinformation right off the bat?
Named J-Boy called the show. That was, what,
Dude,
5-6 years ago? Got him. J-Boy called the show.
Matt,
Who else is that?
Matt, to be honest with you, I've literally been trying. If you listen to the voice, it's nothing like mine. I can do some pretty good impressions, but nothing like that voice. I literally still to this day don't know who it is. I used to think it was T-Bob, but then he cleared his name. He had an alibi. So I don't know who it is. I really don't know who that was. I just woke up one morning and had all these messages about Ed Orgeron killing me and the swamps of Louisiana, and I was like, that's still wild, man. But I don't know who did that.
You're still looking for the real culprit, just like OJ, right?
Dude, it's a D.B. Cooper situation if I've ever seen one in my life.
Jay Crain of Crain and Company, a.k.a. J-Boy, is here with us. All right, you picked LSU on your show to go 9-3. Please explain.
Well, to be honest with you, Matt, the Clemson game, if that game was being played in Baton Rouge, I probably would have picked LSU. But when I look at the matchup against Clemson, obviously the SEC is a tough stretch, but I feel like that game's about as tough as it's going to get. And I know it's an ACC team, but I really like what they're bringing back. But my main thing with LSU is I think the defense will be better under Blake Baker. I think it will continually get better. and then eventually be elite. I don't think they'll be elite this year, which should bring more balance to the team, but I still don't know if LSU can run the ball consistently. I've got to be able to see that because Nussmeier is not the type quarterback that is built to be able to have a run element in there that the defense has to account for, which keeps another hat out of the box. If LSU can run the ball, and they don't have to be a top 10 rushing team in the country, but if they're top 25 rushing, then I will be wrong. But I have them losing to Clemson. I have them losing on the road at Alabama. I've got to see the third one. We've literally done a prediction every day. I've got to go back to the schedule.
It's OU.
But Oklahoma in Norman, last game of the year. I think both teams will actually be 9-2 going into that one, which should set up for a mega matchup. But I'm decently high on Oklahoma. But if LSU can run the ball, then I'll be wrong.
Okay. Let me. By the way, I agree with you on Clemson. People here are sick of hearing me say it, but that's just an absolutely.
They're an SEC team. They're built like an SEC team.
Which is
they really are.
It's a miserable way to open the season.
Yeah.
And people look. Clemson lost to 3 SEC teams last year.
Yep.
So I certainly think LSU can win that game. That's just a miserable way to try to go open the season on the road at that place.
On the road.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I am curious though. Your feeling on Oklahoma, because I don't know that Brent Venables is still the coach when LSU plays them in Norman. Why are you high on the Sooners this year?
A couple reasons. And this is before he even went to Oklahoma. I thought Mateer was the best quarterback in the portal. If it was a draft, I thought he'd be number one. And then you bring Arbuckle with him, which means he doesn't have to learn a new language. It's actually a lot easier. I don't think a lot of people understand this. For everybody else on offense to have to learn new terminology, as opposed to the quarterback having to come in one offseason to learn all the terminology. And what Arbuckle does, it's not overtly complex. He's malleable, so he can change it to match the strength of his personnel, which any good offensive coordinator is going to be able to do that if the system's flexible enough. But I look at a couple other factors as well. The anomalous injuries that happened to Oklahoma last year, and really not just at the wide receiver position, which it was a pandemic at the wide receiver position, but on the offensive line as well. The odds of that happening 2 years in a row are about as slim as you being perfectly or almost perfectly healthy for 2 seasons in a row. It really doesn't happen. They have one of the best offensive line coaches in the country in Bill Biedenbaugh. I don't think he's going to put that type product out there for 2 years in a row. But I don't think enough people are talking about how good Oklahoma is on the defensive line, and it's not just Mason Thomas. They're going to be able to have a rotation that Brent's going to have his hands on more now because it truly is Arbuckle's offense and Arbuckle's system. He's going to be the one calling the shots. It's no more of this old school kind of Nick Saban, Kirby Smart. We're a defensive team that plays it safe on offense. So I feel like the upside and the embarrassment factor of them watching Texas come into the SEC and go to the SEC championship, go to the national championship semifinal. It's one of the teams I think is a little bit sneaky this year, about as sneaky as Oklahoma could get.
Jay Crane's with us. Okay. I need to be convinced about it. I'm just not going to believe Oklahoma until I see it.
Look, Matt, if I sat here and told you I was 100% about it, I'd be lying. But when I look at the variables and kind of the circumstance and the context of Oklahoma, if Mateer is what I think he's going to be, then they're going to have a chance in every game they play because of the line of scrimmage.
Why do you? Then let me ask the follow up. Why are you so high on John Mateer?
For multiple reasons. The first is he's not having to learn a new offense, which is very rare when it comes to transfer portal quarterbacks. So that line of thinking and the time it would take to digest that is non-existent. Now, the chemistry with the wide receivers that are there, that's a different story. That's going to tell the story outside of Oklahoma having a run game that's good enough to be balanced on offense. But when I look at his game, I always think of everything, because when I coached, it was on the defensive side of the ball from a defensive perspective. And when I look at what Mateer does, the scariest thing to me and the ability that he has is he's a dual-threat quarterback, but not necessarily in the way that people think about it, because they think a dual-threat quarterback just means he can throw and he can run. It's that he can beat you from inside the pocket and outside of the pocket with his arm. A quarterback taking off when they get outside of the pocket, unless it's Jaden Daniels or somebody with that freakish speed like that, doesn't scare me as much as a guy kind of like Cam Ward a little bit, and I'm not just saying that because he's from Washington State, that can extend the play from outside the pocket, find the scramble drill coverage that's going on, and be able to change platform and arm angle and throw the ball the way that he can. And then you have the running element as well, which, again, from a defensive standpoint, if you truly want to get a hat on the offensive defensive side, if the quarterback can run on design runs, power read, Q power, Q zone, things like that, then you inserting the safety doesn't give you an advantage. I just feel like they have a lot of answers, and the wide receivers I don't think are going to be as detrimentally injured as they were last year with Deion Burks and Giovanni Gibson, who should come back, I think, after a couple games, and they're decently deep there. So I just believe in his skill set, man.
Jake Crain's with us, Crain and Company. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel podcast. He's on Twitter at @JakeCrain_ if you want to give him a follow. I'm also curious your thoughts. So you have LSU's in Clemson, Bama, Oklahoma. Is Bama just because that's in Tuscaloosa, or are you a believer that Kalen DeBoer gets it right this year?
A lot of it is because of where it is. I know last year was a little bit of an anomaly with what Jalen Moreau did down in Baton Rouge, but as somebody that's been down there and grew up in SEC country, I don't bet against LSU when they're playing at home. I typically stay away from that. And then you kind of look at the circumstance of what's going into the game. I don't have the schedule in front of me. I can't remember if both of them have a bye. I feel like
both have an open date.
Both have a bye, and then the games before that, I can't remember off the top of my head. But when I look at the matchup this year, and Matt, here's another funny thing, and you can call it contradictory or whatever. I've got LSU going 9-3 because I don't know if they're going to be able to run the ball, but I also have Alabama having a really good year, and they didn't run the ball last year well with the offensive line that they had. Not that they returned everybody, but I do think they're going to be a more balanced attack this year. I think one of the reasons that Bama wasn't able to run the ball well last year is because nobody truly believed that Jalen Moreau could throw them to a win. That's what makes what happened against LSU so shocking with Jalen Moreau running the ball. But I do think being in Tuscaloosa is a big deal there. I think Ryan Grubb going to Bama is probably the biggest offseason acquisition outside of Mateer and Arbuckle going to Oklahoma in my mind. So a lot of it did fall on being a home game. But I do think Alabama's a little bit more balanced this year on offense because Ty Simpson doesn't have to be a great Batman. He just has to be a really good Robin.
Okay, so you think Oklahoma has a bounce back, Bama has a bounce back. We always have the conversation about like what coaches aren't going to be at media days next year.
Yeah.
Not every school can go 9-3. Like there's going to be 6-6s and 7-5s and 5-7s. It's just how it has to be. So who are those teams that are? I mean, look, August is the month of optimism. Everyone's undefeated. Everybody thinks they're going to be great.
100%.
Who are the ones that are going to be disappointed come November?
Well, I don't want to be, obvious, but when you look at the circumstance of Mississippi State's not going to fire Jeff Lebby, I don't think, as bad as I think it'll get for him. I think Sam Pittman and Mark Stoops are the two that I think I would put to the forefront of me. And, with Arkansas, Matt, they could win 7 games and Sam could hang it up, or 8 games and Sam could hang it up. It's kind of a weird situation that's going on over there. I think the Mark Stoops deal has kind of run its course, and especially when you're paying a guy $7 million a year at Kentucky for football, they expect that. That's the hard part about showing people results is now they expect it. I think he's done there. And then once you go to the next tier, I mean, Hugh Freeze has got to be one that's got to be up there, right? Because, I mean, Missouri could tank this year and Drink would be fine. Elko is going to be fine at A&M regardless.
What about Napier?
You look at Hugh Freeze. I think it would have to go really bad for Napier.
Okay.
It would have to be really ugly because of the way they finished last year. And if DJ Lagway looks good and they're almost there, they're going to keep them. So I don't have Billy there. But that's why, like Matt, we talk about LSU, Clemson, and Texas, Ohio State, and those are the biggest games of week 1. But if you're talking about the weight of a head coach at a team, I don't know if there's a bigger game than Auburn having to go to Baylor in that first week for Hugh Freeze when you're looking at SEC teams.
That's a great point. Who do you think wins that game?
Man, it's always hard. Auburn has an advantage on the edge of the line of scrimmage. Baylor's got 3 really good interior offensive linemen. I think all 3 of them have a chance to play in the NFL, but both of their tackles are questionable. One's very questionable. And then on the defensive side, they've got an interior guy. I think he's a 3-tech that plays a little nose, a little shade. That's a really good player, but pass rusher isn't exactly their forte. So I think Auburn, if you can control the end of the line of scrimmage and you control the perimeter, you can do a lot of things in the Hugh Freeze offense. I got a feeling it may be decently high scoring, but I think Auburn sneaks one out on the road in Waco because of the edge of the line of scrimmage. But then I've got them losing against Oklahoma on the road. I've got them losing against A&M on the road. So it could be here's what Auburn does. They're going to give you hope, and then they're going to rip it away. And then they're going to give you hope again, and then they're going to rip it away. Then they're going to give you the most hope, and they're going to rip it away the hardest. That's how this works. So, who the hell knows after that?
Sounds like a guy who grew up an Auburn fan. You know what's weird?
And a Braves fan. You got to understand, I'm basically like the guy from and you don't know movie references, but the people listening, well, I'm like the guy from the Da Vinci Code that whips himself on the back every night.
I did see that. No, I did see Da Vinci Code. Yeah,
you know what he was. Yeah. I forgot that actor's name. He's in a ton of stuff, but that's us. That's me. Braves and Auburn.
I'm so disappointed that you went to Braves because I was gonna on the way out ask you how the Braves are doing. As
good as the Saints are.
Yeah, but I'm good with that.
I'm good with it. I saw him win a World Series 2021, Matt. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Here's the question: like the Yankees, how are you feeling, man?
I mean, honestly, I was having this conversation this morning, Jake, with do you know Ryan Terrio? You remember that name?
Yeah. Didn't he play baseball?
Yeah, so he's a good friend of mine. Comes on my show on Fridays. He played at LSU, won a couple World Series. And we're having this conversation today because we're doing like a baseball card, looking at old baseball cards and stuff. And I laugh at people who are like Yankee front runner, whatever, because we're pulling out. He's like, man, you love Don Mattingly because I had a ton of Don Mattingly cards. I'm like,
no, you're a real one. You're a true fan. And I will say, I was just up in Boston at a Red Sox game. Best baseball experience of my life. But I got to go to Yankee Stadium still.
The thing I was like, man, in my lifetime, I was born in '82. The Yankees didn't make the playoffs until '95. Yeah. And they lost to Seattle. And then the next year, Jeter was up as a rookie, and then they won 3 of the next 4, which was incredible. But since then, Jake, since 2000, in 25 years, they've won 1 World Series.
Yeah.
They haven't won one since 2009. It's been 15 years. Like, a front runner? What are you talking about, front runner? Like, We've objectively been underperformers for what the organization spends and invests and the expectations. Like, the Yankees are like the Dallas Cowboys. Perpetually you have expectation for no reason.
Well, that's the crown's heavy. The problem is y'all want to do what the Dodgers do and just turn it into a Japanese team. Well, just don't let them gamble or do real estate projects in Hawaii.
It's like if George Steinbrenner were still alive, like, he would be doing that. Like, all of those guys would be on the Yankees because he was just trying like hell to buy a title before he kicked the bucket. And they bought a lot of talent and just never materialized for him, in those early 2000s teams. But anyway, I wish the Braves no luck whatsoever.
I remember the days of Paul O'Neill and everybody too. Like, I'm with you. I'm a baseball purist.
Hit the drop.
Paul O'Neill, so underrated.
Hit it.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
So our video producer, his name is Paul O'Neill.
Is it him?
Spelled the same way, but this Paul O'Neill actually is a gigantic Atlanta Braves fan.
God, that's my favorite type of Paul O'Neill, actually.
I love it so much. All right, we got to bounce. Crain and Company, YouTube, podcast. Check it out. Go subscribe. Watch all the Crains, especially Blaine, because he's the best of all the Crains on the show because he's a Yankee fan.
Yeah, he picked LSU to do the best.
Well, he's also a Yankee fan.
Yeah, I mean, but listen, he's a fraud. Like, he's a fraud. Like, all the things, deep down, he's a fraud.
Just called your brother a fraud.
He's a fraud. 100% fraud.
I love it so much. Anyway.
All right, Jim Boy,
oh, you found it. Play it again.
All right, Jim Boy,
Where is that coming from? It sounds like it's coming through I don't know.
It's coming from Twitter on my computer.
Wait, could you hear that? I think it played.
I heard like some, but it sounded like the moon landing. I know something was going on. I just couldn't hear it great.
I think it played in the monitor in studio, Alondra.
That's odd.
It played in the monitor, not through the speaker, because I heard it through the speaker in studio, not through my headphones. Try it again.
Coach, how's it going?
All right, Jimbo.
I heard it in my headphones.
Oh, there it was.
just
I
now,
got
yeah.
that time. That was J-Boy right
Anyways.
there. Talking to Coach Joe. Talking to Coach. All right, have an
That
awesome
wasn't me. That wasn't me. That's misinformation. Don't CNN me tonight, Matt. Not on a Wednesday.
Yeah. And OJ's still looking for the killer. Thank you for the time. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah, it was T-Bob in the library with a phone. That's probably what it was. I'll see you guys.
Get out of here. It's AFR. We're brought to you by Supper Club. Hey, look, I love telling you about all the amazing dishes at Supper Club. You can go to Supper Club and have a once-in-a-lifetime steak experience. I tell you about the steaks all the time. They're amazing. Like literally. The Japanese omi beef, you're not getting that anywhere else in Louisiana. There's like 3 restaurants in America that sell that beef. But it's so much more than just steak. Like the veal parm. It's a 12-ounce bone-in veal chop, pounded thin, lightly fried in panko breadcrumbs. It's topped tableside with the house-made marinara sauce, fresh mozzarella, Parmesan, and fresh torn basil, and it's offered with Parmesan cheese, which is grated tableside. So much of this is about the presentation, but that is actually functional because they bring the veal chop to your table and then lay the marinara and the fresh mozzarella and Parmesan on top out of the skillet so that your veal chop maintains that crispiness and it doesn't start to get soft from the hot marinara sauce. They think of everything. It's incredible. Just try it at Supper Club. Book your reservation. SupperClubBTR.com, 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 and always open seating at the bar. So just walk on in, have yourself a cocktail, great premium whiskey. Enjoy the night at Supper Club. Okay, thanks to Jake Crain. Thanks to Cole Cubelic, who was here last hour. Nick Kelly talking some Alabama Crimson Tide. We will grab a break and continue some more disappointing news for a New Orleans Saint after an injury. We got another update. We'll do that next on AFR.
AFR.
River City's 1 hour air is where they are always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. I always love sharing 5-star Google reviews. This one came in from Stephen Snell, who said, they responded immediately to my emergency, arrived in 20 minutes after working hours. Brandon did an excellent job with the right fix, not the quick fix. I so appreciate what was done, how quickly it was done, and how friendly he was. Another 5-star Google review for River City's 1 hour air. Tell you all the time, they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. They work nights, holidays, weekends. So if your AC goes out, nights, holidays, and weekends, still call River City's 1 hour air and they will be there. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001 for River City's 1 hour air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Businesses like yours are the soul of our community. You deserve someone who'll deliver the internet services you deserve. That's why local businesses rely on Rev Business, 90 years of building connections. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier.
After further review, presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
A little more disappointing news for the New Orleans Saints. A day after Will Clapp was placed on IR, the Saints placed wide receiver Bub Means on injured reserve as well, ending his season. So Bub Means, who the Saints drafted a year ago out of Pitt, was maybe trying to make a little bit of a move this year. He was one of the 3 players that were carted off in the first preseason game against the Chargers. How massively disappointing. I don't know what this season might have been for Bub Means. You all know I'm not high on this team whatsoever, but what I am interested in this year for the New Orleans Saints, as I'll continue to say, is establishing the young core of this team that could be the foundation upon which you build, hopefully, a winning era. And that means hitting on your draft picks. And so I'm excited about the 9 guys they drafted this year. But after Chris Olave and after Rashid Shaheed, who is next? I do not like the Brandon Cooks signing. I've said that all along. Brandon Cooks is an aging player in his 30s who is declining in production and is quite honestly the same older, lesser version of Olave and Shaheed. You look at what is a contrast to that? Well, it's a big-bodied receiver like Bub Means, who would have been nice to see if in year 2, maybe in Kellen Moore's offense, he might have been able to take a step. Unfortunately, just 10 snaps into the game, carted off with the shoe on his right foot off, towel draped over his head, and Bub Means, his season is over after going on IR. The Saints did add, Roderick Douglas. He's 5'10", 180-pound receiver out of SMU, so that's another receiver that they've added. So a lot of roster movement, and this is now official that New Orleans has also signed. This is via the transaction wire. The Saints have signed. He was at practice yesterday, but Mike Panasiuk, who was a defensive lineman at Michigan State, came into the NFL playing offensive line, 2-time All-UFL, is now the presumed replacement for Will Clapp. And so all these stories, by the way, are up and they're free at louisianasports.net. Ross Jackson has all the info. So if you want to check them out, you can get it there. It's all for free. But Saints, at a pretty impactful time right now as they're making roster decisions and will be in another week plus roster decisions, but some significant ones there with Will Clapp and now Bub Means going to IR, effectively ending their seasons. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by First South Farm Credit, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. You're thinking of buying land, your first call should be to First South Farm Credit because for more than 100 years, that's what they've done at First South Farm Credit. They've helped Louisianians buy land. You want the 20 acres to build your family's dream home. So many people who have lived in New Orleans want to continue working in the city, but the rural lifestyle. So I hear this all the time from the guys at First South. People will buy those 20 acres, the 100 acres in Tangipahoa Parish, and they'll just drive across the causeway and work in the city and live on the North Shore. If that's something you're interested in, First South Farm Credit should be your first call. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Visit firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com. Of course, you need 1,000 acres for agriculture. 200 acres for that hunting property in Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas. They can help you there as well. First South Farm Credit. firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com. All right, it is after further review. The Saints will be practicing again this evening. They actually start here shortly in about 15 minutes or so because they're still out in L.A. It's just everything's delayed. So they're practicing at 4 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Central. So whenever they do get off the practice field and Kellen Moore meets with reporters, we'll have all that information up for you at louisianasports.net. You can get it for free there. Speaking of, Jimmy Ott always has his picks. Otterlocks up at louisianasports.net where you can get them. They are posted right now if you want to get in there. Jimmy's got 4 MLB plays. He'll join us when we come back to wrap up the show with Otterlocks. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 30 years. Get Gordon and get it done. And it's really exciting because as we get close to the start of another football season, we're getting close to being able to tell you more about the new members of the G team. Of course, if you think back to 2021, Gordon was the first to really cannonball into the deep end of the NIL waters among the LSU boosters and supporters. And, he sat in the studio many times and said he never really intended or thought it would go the direction it has. But it's a way that Gordon's been able to give back, not only to the teams to help LSU win in all these different sports, but not just LSU, all different universities in the state, but also to these young student athletes, both male and female, to give them great opportunities to earn money and to have that platform. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient. And you will have your pool in no time.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner
after further review. Presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Remember, visit yourgoodwood.com. Lowest prices, never any contracts. Visit yourgoodwood.com. Hormone replacement therapy, dozens of different peptides like BPC 157, NAD+. Want to live your most optimal self, feel your best? Goodwood can help. Yourgoodwood.com. Yourgoodwood.com. Okay, let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otterlocks.
Otterlocks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Otter, how are you?
Good, Matthew. How about you?
Fantastic. Ready to win some money tonight, so let's do it. What are we looking at?
Good night last night, 4-2 for us. A couple of games that we put out on the website earlier are already underway.
Okay.
Philadelphia and Cincinnati is no score, and they're in the bottom of the third. I would suggest getting on Philadelphia still at this point. Might even get a cheaper price.
I'll tell you right now, Philly is, minus $1.07 right now.
Minus $1. That's minus the one run or just
no, I'm sorry. That's money line.
That's even better.
Yeah.
Even better.
So
that's what I would do. I'd do
the money line or the run line is plus $1.72.
Wow. Okay. So
what do you think?
Yeah. So I would split it up.
Okay.
I would take minus one, not minus 1.5, minus one.
Okay.
And also money line. Chris Sanchez is third in the Cy Young voting right now. Skeens had a rough night last night, but he was left off of the All-Star game. When they put on Mizorowski with only 25 innings from Milwaukee, this is the guy's spot that they took. And watch the first couple of innings. He does have good stuff tonight, so I feel fine jumping in mid-game with that one. All right, the other one is already done, and this if you didn't get on this one early, the horse is out the barn. The Marlins with Yuri Perez. This is paid one of the hot teams. Cleveland's been really hot. They trimmed that 14-game lead down to 6 in the American League Central. But Yuri Perez has been on fire. And the Guardians pitcher, this is the pitcher that had that near no-hitter last Wednesday afternoon at Baltimore. And because of it, they left him in there for 128 pitches. So he's showing some signs that he might not be all there. He's already given up a run, 2-on, 2-out situation for the Marlins in the top of the first. So
you can still Otter, on the run line. It's plus $1.15 at minus 1.5. Is it worth looking at?
That's worth it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Especially if we would know the outcome of this 2-on-2.
I'm in. I'm in.
He gets it. Yeah, get on it now. And the other one's delayed at Camden Yards in Baltimore. Another hot team, Seattle. They've got a winning streak going. They have tied up now the Astros. That 8-game lead is now 0. So they've tied it up. But, the Orioles, their pitcher tonight, and that's Rogers. Rogers is on fire. He's a former Marlins pitcher as well, but he has just been mowing them down for Baltimore. So going to take him at plus money any time of the week. So taking Rogers at home more in that one. And I've got one WNBA pick for you. Okay. Our buddy Doug Kazarian has been sending me a pick a night. He hit with the Valkyries. That's the Oakland, San Francisco Bay Area team. They're -2 tonight in the WNBA against the Washington team. So I believe they're the Mystics.
The Mystics.
But take the Valkyries minus a couple of points.
My guy,
Dougie.
We are not in any way going to shy away from a winner. I am.
That's right.
You hand me a winner.
That's right.
Let's go. All right. Phillies.
That's me and
Orioles.
I taught Charlie a long time ago. Don't ever turn your nose up the winner.
Love it. Where are you tomorrow?
We are at Finbom Sushi Burrito Poke Ramen on Burbank and Lee. I'm sure I'll duck into Rouse's and see 80s John, get a few groceries right next to Rouse's at Burbank and Lee.
All right, Otter. Good luck. Thank you.
Good luck.
All right, we're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. You need tires? Got to get them. Get the best tires at the cheapest price. Best place to do that, the only place to do that is Shawbills. They guarantee the lowest price, as a matter of fact. Part of the Charlie's Dozen, the price match guarantee. Buy tires at Shawbills, find them advertised cheaper somewhere else, they'll refund you 125% of the difference. How about that? They guarantee they're going to get you the best price on the best tires. So why would you go anywhere? Oh, by the way, they're also going to treat you like family. You walk in, they actually have a customer bill of rights. You can see it on their website. It's things that they believe that every employee must do because it's rights that every customer that walks through the door deserves. It's Shawbills, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com, Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. All right, just about to get out of here. We appreciate you for being here and for hanging out with us. Musso's out all week. Alondra, thank you for hanging out. We learned today that Alondra likes burnt pizza. Alondra and my wife Erica both love burnt pizza.
I do like burnt pizza.
Would you burn your deep dish pizza?
That's a good question. I haven't considered that.
Have you ever had
Maybe.
deep dish pizza?
I haven't, so I can't give
You've
you
never
a
had
definitive yes
pizza
or no.
that you like deep dish? You got to eat with a fork.
Yeah, I've never had
Let me
deep
say
dish.
You don't have to eat with a fork, but it's preferred, I would say.
Yeah.
It's very hard to pick up. Paul, you've had deep dish pizza? Yeah, I would assume.
Yes.
Would you burn your deep dish pizza?
I would not, no.
Fork and knife, or just eat with your hands?
Deep dish, probably fork and knife.
Yeah, fork and knife. I mean, it's pizza you eat with fork and knife.
Yeah, I've seen them.
To burn that, it'll take some effort.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all have a great night. Home run Miami! 4-0!
After further review.
How did that 2-on, 2-out situation go? 3-run homer. Let's get some tickets. All right. We're getting down the road. Hey, we're brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans. It's so ridiculous. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. You know what I may do? To celebrate this, I may go on into Rouse's, buy me some champagne. I'm going to pop some bottles. You can get champagne at Rouse's. You can get beer or wine or any of your adult drink spirits. You're going to be watching the Saints this weekend, maybe throwing something on the grill. Get it at Rouse's. Get some steaks, some pork chops, some burgers. You want to build a better burger? You can do it at Rouse's. You need all your groceries. Guess what? Rouse's has been doing that for 65 years. And I love the fact that they're still locally owned as they continue to grow. 70 locations, Lake Charles to Orange Beach, still locally owned. It's Rouse's. Rouse's.com. Rouse's. This feels like home.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wildin'.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Brack, your #1 park system in the nation.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Tiger Country is 100.7 The Tiger. In the car on 100.7 FM or on the 100.7 The Tiger app. 90s country and beyond. 100.7 The Tiger.